Hello, everyone, and welcome in to DMV Rivals Summer 2024. We've got winners finals here for you today. My name is GB Shiv. I am joined by FaZe, and we are pumped to bring you this match here today.
Yes, what an exciting match here we have today. It's the two teams that have performed the best in the tournament so far in Big Rat and JSN the 5th, both having started in the top side of the bracket initially, but found their way, both beat teams in bracket B and are now here in the winners finals. And with so many games left to be played in the tournament, it would be really good to start out with or head right into that final, get to sit back, spectate the rest of the series, and playing around your opponent's strats, because from this point on, wouldn't really have to reveal anything. So yeah. I think all of these teams are really going to be trying their best, trying to secure that spot here today.
Yeah, we've certainly seen both these teams pull out some interesting strategies throughout the tournament. We'll see if they still bring that here today. Draft has been progressing as the teams have been deciding their picks already. They're down to last pick, so bit of whiplash here. A lot to digest as we look at these team compositions.
Yeah, and I mean, we already right away kind of off the bat noticed JSN the 5th were definitely opting to go for that Seraphine in their series the other day, and Big Rat immediately taking that off the table, forcing them to look towards this Karma Ezreal bot lane. It was the Sivir that JSN the 5th was able to find wins with, so we'll see if they're able to convert this Ezreal as well. Obviously, Ezreal Karma, kind of a famous lane, been around for quite a while and definitely very strong, especially in the early laning phase. But Ashe Zilean on the other side, definitely no slouch of a lane. We've seen Ashe be one of the best performing champions in the tournament so far, and definitely a comfort pick for a lot of members, including Pama Jr., who will be piloting it today. We see some popular picks as well in the mid lane. Taliyah and Ahri, definitely some of the most go-to champions in the tournament. Taliyah with the opportunity to maybe deny some of the engage attempts from champions like the Lee Sin, like the Gwen on the other side, and even the Ahri herself. Meanwhile, Ahri, always great to see that pick potential for your team, has follow-up with the champions like Lee Sin, and I think that both mid laners will be feeling pretty good about their picks as well.
Yeah, it definitely feels like on the side of JSN the 5th, they've always been willing to kind of throw down early around that mid jungle. JSN the other has been playing the Xin Zhaos, the Wukongs. We're going to see him here on that Lee Sin. Meanwhile, on the side of Big Rat, they tend to play these kind of AP carries for Yuta and more utility on Hop Tech. This time, though, we see them going for the Vi, a champion that will be able to skirmish a bit early, be more active than champs like Karthus, like Diana, that Yuta's been playing a lot this tournament.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Hop Tech can do on this Taliyah pick. He's been bringing out a lot of champions like the Galio. He was bringing out the Yasuo earlier, so he's found himself on a lot of these melee picks, but he is, a famous Azir player, experienced on other ranged champions like the Taliyah, and it's going to be exciting to see if he can have the same level of performance that he's been having on some of these melee picks when bringing out the Taliyah here. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we have, I'd say, a pretty volatile matchup, actually, in this Fiora versus Gwen. We've seen Starry be one of the better performing top laners in the tournament so far. But how do you think this matchup's going to go, Shiv?
It's definitely going to be an interesting one. Starry's put in a lot of games on both the Gwen and the Fiora throughout this tournament. Hasn't played this exact matchup yet, it appears, but like you said, she's proven very proficient on it. Though Keyshawn Robinson on the other side, he has definitely been a bit of an unsung hero on the side of JSN the 5th. In their last series, he had to go up against Sam Manuske, up against a lot of carry picks, and he was able to do quite well into them. Those were on picks kind of like the Skarner. I believe he had like a Kennen game. There was some AP carry. Yeah, so Keyshawn has put in games. Oh no, it was on Gwen. I was confusing my top lane AP carries. So he does have some proficiency on this champ for sure. But like you said, it is going to be very volatile. However, whoever gets a lead is going to be put in a pretty good spot because there are champs like the Zillion, like the Karma, that can really empower these kind of top lane divers to really get a lot of work done, even in 5v5s.
Yeah, and I mean, Fiora and Gwen are usually champions we see picked as counter picks to some of the more popular tank champions in the top lane, but this is not really a matchup you see too often. Usually, you wouldn't pick one of these into the other. I guess it was the Fiora that was picked in response to the Gwen. So Starry, it seems like feeling pretty good about the matchup, but I think it'll be interesting to see. I'd imagine that this is the type of lane that maybe some of these players have a little bit less experience in than some of the tank matchups. So we'll see who's able to use their knowledge to the best in this lane.
Yeah, I mean, especially with how good Skarner has been in the top lane, providing a good tank pick. It has most of the time been picks like the Gwen, like the Fiora coming out to punish the Ashtalian Scorpion. So now, in a more all-or-nothing kind of fighter matchup, definitely going to be something to watch. We'll see if the junglers want to get involved early around those lanes. Vi, Lee Sin, definitely no slouches in the early game. But I think, as we kind of alluded to earlier, both the Vi and the Lee Sin just tend to be comboed with these mid laners so often that those probably are going to be the main points of contention for either of these two teams.
Yeah, I think that one thing I really want to emphasize here is just how similar these team comps kind of are. Like, I think Fiora, well, we talked about Fiora and the Gwen, but I mean, like you said with the Karma and the Zillion, both these champions kind of there to empower their teammates, provide speed boosts for the team. You know, Ahri and Talia, both champions that have strong bursts, but also just the ability to catch targets out of position. I think Lee Sin and Vi also kind of playing that similar style of just diving onto the enemy backline and having strong early game ganking pressure. So it's just kind of a lot of, it feels like similar types of champions being played for both sides. So I think it's really going to come down to execution and not the team comps to see who can pull out the better end of this game.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, with these team comps being very similar, neither of them really have any sort of front line. It is going to be a lot about who gets the jump first, who gets that first pick, because there's no one to soak up damage. It's so hard to walk into objectives without any sort of front line. And on the side of Big Rat, they have a pick like the Zillion that can deny those Ahri or Lee Sin picks that Jason V can go towards to start off any sort of fights. And it could give it a lot more value than a champ like Milio that was up, would provide a lot more laning pressure for Big Rat. Instead, it's probably going to be a rougher laning phase for the Ashe Zillion in exchange for that just game-changing ult that Zillion can provide.
I also definitely want to be looking at these hawk shots early on into the game. Like we said with the Vi Lee Sin matchup, it is going to come down a lot to who can pull off these early game ganks, and if the Ashe from Panma Jr. can help to track the Lee Sin, that might be open up the opportunities that Uta needs to find some of these ganks without the Lee Sin being able to respond. And I think going to be a pretty important use for that champion in this early game.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, the Vi is probably like the easiest to execute champion out of everyone here. I think while Ahri Lee Sin provides a lot of lethality, a lot of pick potential, the Vi Talia is just straightforward. You click R, you W them back, they probably die. So I think the ease of execution can definitely help Yuta throughout the early game, throughout the mid game, for doing what the comp needs to do. We are soon to get into games, so, I mean, you kind of alluded that you don't really like either of these drafts too much more than the other. Given the players piloting them, who would you rather back?
I don't know if it's really the players as much as just, I think I like the comp on Big Rat a little bit better. I think some of the champions they've picked are kind of more proven, stronger picks in the middle right now, like we saw with the Ashe. I think Ezreal kind of been put to the sideline recently. I think Vi has been one of the strongest jungle picks for quite a long time, and like you alluded to before, with the straightforward engages, definitely when you have a matchup like this, that could be the opening pick, that could be what makes the difference. And I think Talia, a pretty good answer into some of these champions, like the Ahri, like the Lee Sin, like the Gwen. So I think I like the matchup from, Big Rat a little bit more, but I still think it's very close. I think these teams are trying to do a lot of the same thing, and I think it's going to mostly come down to execution rather than the draft.
Sounds about right to me. We are now going to get on to the Rift here in winners finals. Big Rat versus Jason the Fifth. One of these teams going to punch their ticket to the grand finals when it's all said and done.
Yeah, so looking at what's going on in the early game here, the only thing really of note that I see so far is Starry has found her way up into this forwardmost bush in the top lane. We'll see if that makes any kind of difference here. I think that most likely it might just be a free vital, but yeah, it looks like pretty standard start. No real deep vision gained for either team. So I think that we're going to be heading into this lane phase with kind of a neutral map state, which is kind of what you hope for, because you want to see you don't want to see the game blow up at level 1 and then kind of just end from there.
Yeah, we will see Dragon.
When I say that.
We will see Dragon chuck a nice little mantra Q towards Panma Jr. There were no deep wards really from either team, so not a lot of information on where Jason the Other or Yuta will be going throughout this early game. We'll see if either of these mid laners can get some early push, get a Raptor ward down, and maybe gauge some information that way. We'll see if they do anything other than power farm, though, to take advantage of that.
I think that given the forward position from Dragon and Steel Tips there, they might have a little bit of an inkling that this Lee Sin did start in the top side. So we'll see if Uda tries to take any advantage of that. As meanwhile, it looks like Steel Tips and Dragon, like we kind of expected with this poke lane, able to get the advantage, able to get level 2 first, have reduced the HP bars of Panma Jr. and Crithians to about half. So I think definitely feeling good about how that matchup is going so far. We saw Starry take the better end of some of those initial trades, but Keyshawn Robinson able to trade back nicely and is now kind of pressuring Starry down.
Yeah, Jason the Other is going to make a detour into the enemy jungle. We may see a bit of a scrap. We see Vi pathing a bit safer around the wolf camp before eventually going to it. So they don't know that Lee Sin is up on top side, and he's up for a dive. Does find the Sonic Wave. Starry forced to flash back. Good setup on the top side.
Yeah, it does force out the flash, but luckily for Starry, the Canyon Minion was tanking the majority of the hits from the tower, so isn't really going to lose that much there. And now Jason is stuck in his top side, forced to recall, so will fall maybe a little bit behind on the cruise. Actually, it looks like Uta may be looking for a play here.
Yeah, the Vi is up there with the Q. I can't find the right button, but he did get a ghost off of Keyshawn.
So ultimately, just a trade of summoners up there in the top lane. Both Uta and Jason now going to head towards the other side of the map, get their farm through. So I think ultimately no one feeling really too bad in that exchange. But a nice look from Jason to try and get a little bit of an advantage. At least was able to blow the flash of Starry.
Yeah, it could be definitely a point worth coming back to, especially when Gwen hits level 6. Her lethality becomes a whole lot better when she has that needlework in tow. And with this wave moving away from Starry, she's probably going to need some help from Yuta before Yuta takes his first recall. They spot Yuta on the top side as Hoptech takes his back, however. It actually started getting quite low. Keyshawn almost taking him off with the scissors. Sightless Yuta is moving his way up here. Good word by Keyshawn. He won't get surprised. And just the edge of the scissors, not enough. Sightless has to come up here and help push out this wave.
Yeah, like you said, Sightless chilling, helping out. I think that Starry will be okay after this. We'll see if they're able to kind of fully bring this into the turret. But a nice little advantage for Keyshawn. He's going to be able to farm out this wave. He's going to have quite the farm lead for himself as long as he doesn't go down here. It looks like, yeah, they're actually not going to quite force it into the tower. It looks like, meanwhile, Jason taking advantage of that opportunity to farm out the bot side of the map from Big Rat. Uta looks like he's going to respond in kind, heading towards Jason's Krugs, or towards the Raptors, excuse me. But it looks like Jason pings it out. Either saw him on a ward or just is kind of predicting that he'll be there. but I think now Jason with a 12 CS lead or of a couple camps, gonna be feeling pretty good about how this early game has gone for himself.
Yeah, and the Vi couldn't fully trade back by also getting Krugs. Lee Sin did have that first back, has the longsword, so Vi definitely does not want to find herself in any sort of jungle fight before she's able to take that first back. The bot lane has not been nearly as brutal, perhaps, as we intended. Panma should even manage to even up the CS score. So despite the Ezreal Karma being all about this early pressure, all about this early priority, all they really have to show for it is the 60 gold of the plate.
Yeah, but not here to complain about that. I mean, obviously, we do talk about the early game of the Ezreal Karma, but still, Ezreal is an ADC, still does scale. Looks like Uta.
Oh no! Just gets a cheeky steal on the Void Grubs, but Keyshawn coming down. Ult available for the Gwen. I don't think they really want to fight this out. Just able to grab one grub in off the play.
Yeah, but I want to look at Keyshawn Robinson again, who has built quite a lead for himself, now up almost 20 farm, and probably some experience too. So I think definitely seeing some good work from the Gwen, continuing to bully this Fiora after the tough early game that Starry has had.
Yeah, we don't see any revisit from Jason the Other on this wave, so Starry should just be able to pick this up. We talked about Lee Sin and Vi trying to make early plays. It has been like one, and we are still searching for that first blood. Do you still expect it to be around this top side?
I mean, based on how things are going, maybe, but now that I think teams are probably going to be out.
Oh, here comes Needlework, and Starry puts a repose down, but it's not brilliantly timed, and Keyshawn able to find the first kill.
Keyshawn just finding huge advantages in this lane. It seems like he definitely has the better understanding of the matchup so far, has been able to take advantage of that range advantage that Gwen does have, and is now building up quite the lead for himself. Going to crash about 1.5 waves, including a cannon here. Will opt to execute, so I don't know if that was intentional. I have to imagine it was, but yeah, unfortunately not able to pick up the plate for himself.
Oh, meanwhile, nothing intentional about Panma just losing his life on the bot side. Not going to be able to pick up this wave.
Yeah, and wins on multiple parts of the map for Jason.
Oh, but Yuta's going to chase in with the cease and desist and able to grab one back. Big Rat finally on the board.
Yeah, nice follow-up play from Uta there, and I think that pick will also allow them to kind of push forward towards Jason on this dragon. I can't see the dragon's health bar. Looks like actually just going to give that one up. So, you know, a side effect of that play by Uta was kind of saving the dragon, allowing them to maybe take that later. So I think definitely pretty happy about that if you are Uta, but this top side is just continuing to bleed. The Gwen already with a couple of those components already heading towards that Leandries, and I'm kind of scared how it's going to go. Or actually, I believe that's the Riftmaker. I forgot that builds out of Haunting Guys now, but yeah, going to be feeling very strong
up here, but he's spotted, so I don't think he's going to really have a Weaver's Wall opportunity. They may still look for it, but not this time. Starry's still dashing and getting hit by a lot of these Qs. Hoptech needs to make a decision. He's going to finally ride the wall in, but Keyshawn still has the Shroud, and he's going to try to fight this one out. Or will he? He's flung back into the Grand Challenge. Now here comes the Lee Sin. A beautiful kick angle from Jason the Other, and Hoptech can't quite find the rocks. Keyshawn is going to live, and the top lane gets even better for J5. Sightless makes his way around, but he cannot find his target. He doesn't have ult. He takes so many tower shots. And Big Rat are just not willing to let plays go, and it's costing them in topside.
Yeah, very disastrous for Big Rat. The initial play looked like it might have been good, but the damage just didn't quite come through. Jason was able to arrive, able to come with the shield, able to kick away the Fiora, and despite Hoptech continuing to look for the kill, wasn't quite able to finish it off. And then Uta looking to get that kill under the turret, but without the ultimate available, you have to kind of question how he was kind of expecting to get that, especially since Jason was still in the area. And now, all of a sudden, it's more than a 2k gold lead at only 10 minutes into the game for Jason the Fifth.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That Rift Maker finished. Eclipse on Lee Sin finished. It is going to be very hard for Big Rat to fight back. They do have some tools now with the Ashar via ult back off cooldown. But the other thing I want to talk about with that play was Hoptech losing his flash. And now as the Taliyah in mid lane, when you're up against this Ahri that can slip in with the Spirit Dash, land the charm, set up for Jason the Other, he is going to have to be a bit cautious around this mid lane. He's gone for Sork Shoes first. He's wanting to get out on the map, and it looks like that will be the plan as they go for grubs.
Yeah, I think that it's just going to be a trade of objectives here. Jason the Fifth is heading towards that dragon. Meanwhile, Uta going to claim, I believe it should be 4 grubs for himself. So definitely, getting those little minions to spawn when you're hitting the turret. Not going to complain about that. But with this top side continuing to bleed out, as it looks like
Arrow in the bot lane. Steel Tips, though, needs to get back. Decent double bomb from Cridians. Here comes True Shot Barrage. Panma able to dodge that one. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Cyrac trying to get something onto Hoptech. Burn the ult, but Sightless is there now with the turn. The shove is not there in time, though. So Cyrac survives now in topside. We're just fighting all over the map. Here comes Jason the Other with a kickback, with a Sonic Wave, with the kill. And out of all these fights, it is just Jason the Other on the board.
It's just happening everywhere, but it feels like every time they break out, wherever Jason the Other is where the magic happens. Always able to find those clutch kicks, able to finish off these kills, and when no one else seems to be able to get that last bit of HP, it's this Lee Sin who's able to find them over and over. Now 2 kills for himself, 2 kills for Keyshawn.
Yeah, and Cridian's burning the Chrono Shift, thinking that Mystic Shot was gonna hit. Will at least guarantee that Pan was able to pick up a few minions. But yeah, everything on the map right now in favor of J5.
Yeah, and with how strong this Gwen is getting, it's starting to get very scary because Fiora kind of relies on becoming stronger than the enemy top laner, being able to win out in those matchups on the side of the map is called the Grand Duel for a reason. So going to be really struggling to find a way into this game is Starry. I think furthermore, even Big Rat as a team have found most of their success off the back of Starry winning in these top lane matchups. I think it's the solo lanes that have really shined for them, as well as the presence from Uta. And with all that falling apart, it seems like they kind of just don't have a game plan. Panma Jr. and Cridians are just continuing to lose out in the bot side, and feels
Steel
like
Tips
everywhere on the map.
Steel Tips, I got a bit worried about him against the Zillion. But yeah,
I think now Jason's coming down.
Yeah, Lee Sin is there. Ash has to stop her back. The camera's not sending us anywhere, but Ash Arrow is gonna help Jason the Other survive, or Jason the Other not really get the kill. As back in topside, there's the cease and desist. Keyshawn though has the Q stacked up. Does he have another charge? He does not. Big shutdown in the top side.
Yeah, you would have liked to see that shutdown go over to Starry, but still not going to complain, get that 500 gold, but it's just being traded right back with these plates going down. They weren't quite able to finish off the kills, but now with 3 sums not available, it's going to be real tough for the bot side of Big Rat. And Jason the Fifth did lose their top laner, but I think still quite far ahead in this game. Actually, maybe Starry. If Starry's
make
able
it
to
the entire tower because reinforcements are down. 14-minute mark crested. Could not have asked for a more perfectly timed gank from Uta there. First brick helping Starry close that goal gap by a wide margin.
Yeah, I think right when I was kind of starting to get concerned about Starry, she was able to find the turret, and definitely will kind of help that lane become a little bit more even. But the turret, there are a lot of 1 health turrets for Big Rat, and as soon as Jason is able to find even a single favorable play, it will be these structures starting to go down, and it will be the gold starting to explode. So I think that we're going to have to hopefully see something soon from Big Rat to maybe win out in a fight and turn that narrative around.
Yeah, we do see that Karma moved up to the top side while Zillion did not. So I'm pretty sure Herald will be fully controlled by Jason the Other. We'll see if Uta decides to make a drive-by smite attempt, but Doesn't really look like it. Ash Arrow, though, hitting onto steel tips. His cleanse only just now coming back up. Panma continuing to pelt him. Now they're moving on to Dragon, but the speed-ups from Karma able to outlast them. Or will they? Another volley connect. Steel tips is slowed, and he's got to flash out. Dragon and steel tips now underneath their tower. Herald is taken on the top side. Kick out. Starry now getting delivered to Cyrac, but how's the other side of the fight going? Starry's going to flash in the pick, going to look to duel it out with Keyshawn Robinson, but she's got friends. She's got the cease and desist, a sightless, to make sure Keyshawn doesn't get anything.
And all of a sudden, it's Big Rat winning all over the map. Panma Jr. were able to blow the flash 1v1, force them away from the turret. Now able to probably finish this one off as well. And it was Hop Tech and Starry rotating over to help Uta around the Herald, which did go to the side of Jason the Fifth, but it was ultimately the cease and desist coming out from Uta, able to secure the kill, another kill going over to Uta on this Vi. And like you talked about before the game, with these snap engages from the Vi, with the very straightforward point and click, it was ultimately the difference in that fight.
Yeah, and now it's time to maybe get out for Dragon. Starry is walking down here, but after a base from Panma and Cridians, pretty sure this is all locked up for Jason the Fifth. They will get their second Dragon.
So the objective is definitely going in favor of Jason the Fifth. Looks like nothing really too much happening around there. But the gold has started to come back for Big Rat. Now almost finishing off this third turret.
Cridians might get caught here. Nice evasion on the double bomb by Jason the Other. Though he's got to deal with Panma. He's got to deal with some slows. He will survive. Starry now going to have to make her way back to the top side. Just make sure that Keyshawn doesn't do too much damage to his tower. It's Ravenous to Rift Maker. But Starry, I don't know about the fight still. You've gotten some good plays to go your way, but feels like it is still just farm mode for the Fiora.
Yeah, I think that Starry is really going to have to try and find ways to dodge these Qs from Keyshawn. The snips are just continuously coming through, continuously finding their way onto Starry in these trades, and that matchup is really all about dodging Gwen and dodging her damage while you use your mobility to your advantage. And I think Starry is going to have to start looking for stuff like that if she wants to find wins in the side lane. But like you said, not too big of a deal here. It was just some farming up.
Yeah, everything going about even thus far. Big Rat have managed to pull themselves back after a not great early game. And now Cyrac able to find himself a charm. Sightless not going to charge in there just yet. Dragon Jason the Other may be moving up. They're going to face check. Here comes Weaver's Wall as Big Rat wants to pull off the fight. Jason the Other in their sights. Beautiful bomb. Nice shove. And down goes Jason the Other. They're now going to chase in for more with the Vial. It's just pick after pick, CC after CC. And Big Rat get two.
Yeah, and it feels like it's always the story of this Vi. Uta finding kill after kill, finding play after play, able to lock down Jason off the bat, and then follow up with the cease and desist onto steel tips. And it just feels like the story continues to show with these engages from the Vi. And meanwhile, Starry is actually the one able to find that push out on the top side. Keyshawn Robinson at about half HP, and this top side is starting to turn around, it feels like.
Yeah, Keyshawn does still have the Eye of the Herald and a low top lane tower that he would definitely like to reduce to rubble. We'll see if Dragon and Jason the Other move over to help him out in that regard. Cyrac with the TP advantage for now, but I think it probably is just going to be a top lane play, if anything, for Jason the Fifth.
The first person to finish that second item up is Uta on this Vi. The Eclipse and the new item that I forgot what it's called.
Sundered Sky.
Sundered Sky, there we go.
We couldn't have
very,
Divine
very
Sunders
strong
anymore. We needed to target them at the sky. That's the only way it can be done.
But yeah, I mean, it feels like if anyone is found out by this Vial, they're just going to go straight down, and we're really going to have to look to Uta to sort of carry these fights, find these plays for his team, moving into some of these mid-game fights. His team is down 2 dragons, so they're going to need to start to win out on some of these plays, maybe get some of these Infernal Drakes if they want a chance of contesting for this push towards the Dragon Soul.
Yeah, but right now, Caridian's just moving in, trying to get some control over the enemy jungle. JSN the other is going to have some contest on his Grampus. Here's the Vial, the shove. Again, just a bit delayed as Hoptech stayed in fog a bit too long, but still a flash off Lee Sin.
Yeah, and that's an important flash.
Starry flanking in mid lane, gets the sums off the Ezreal, and now just going to keep on chasing. Has another parry, but the shields from Karma come in clutch. Double bomb onto JSN the other. He's going to be able to walk this one out as Cyrac now going back in for the play. Doesn't have enough damage to kill off the Ashe. It's 1-0, and Keyshawn pushing away in top.
That's not what you want to see if you're Starry. I think definitely misplayed on that fight. Was not able to find the rest of the damage on 2 steel tips. Did go down, and that might be even a second turret going over towards Keyshawn right when Starry, it felt like, was starting to get the advantage in this matchup. Meanwhile, I do want to at least kind of follow up on the fact a lot of flashes were blown for JSN the 5th. Obviously, Lee Sin flash, one of the most important engaged tools for JSN the 5th.
Caridian's getting very low. Steel Tip's willing to shift in to take that chunk and take control of the Dragon Pit, but both teams teleporting down. Keyshawn, now with those 2 items completed, he can be very scary. Panma also, no flash for this fight as J5 get to the Dragon first.
Yeah, with even gold across the board, all 10 members at this fight, this is going to be one of the more important fights of the game, you have to imagine. So you can come out on top here. It is JSN the 5th with that initial control over the Dragon.
Oh, Cyrac wants to go and doesn't find the angle to turn, but Keyshawn pushing forward, forcing the flash out of Credence. Now Panma trying to stand and fight. He needs the Chrono Shift. Star's trying to find angles to the back line. Has riposte to buy time. Still needs to walk away out as the Dragon is secured by JSN the other. And 1 kill to JSN to the 5th. Keyshawn still looking to run around with these scissors, but it looks like it is just 1 kill. JSN the other, does he want to do anything fancy? Not really.
Well, more crucially than the kill, though, is the soul point going over to JSN the 5th. They were able to get that objective at the beginning of the fight. Meanwhile, in the fight, it was Keyshawn Robinson just running through the team, able to force out the ult early from the Zillion, force the backline away. Hoptech tried to find a pick, tried to find the damage. Starry diving in, but it just wasn't enough as Keyshawn Robinson just having his way on with Big Rat in these fights, now getting a 3rd solo turret for himself. And you have to imagine he's probably up maybe even a couple thousand gold at this point over Starry.
Yeah, it's 3.5. I
think it's 2.5.
Oh, no, 2.5. Yeah. I was not a math major. But yeah, definitely feeling good for Keyshawn Robinson. Those scissors, they are sharpened up real nicely to try to take down Panma, Hoptech, and whoever Keyshawn Robinson comes across.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Hoptech and the rest of Big Rat do about this Gwen, who's about to get very strong on the side lanes. Probably going to pick up that Leandries here. And with 3 items, I don't know what the answer is going to be for this Gwen. Maybe have to try and look for a collapse with the Vi, with the Talia, but unless things go very, very heavily in the favor of Big Rat in the team fights, it feels like Keyshawn Robinson is just going to start to whittle away at these structures and start to find his way in towards the base of Big Rat.
Yeah. Well, step one in trying to step one in trying to get those team fights is going to be bring in the Gwen to them, trying to get control over this Baron, force JSN the 5th into any difficult decisions as they're clearing out vision. Steel Tips back in mid to push this in and hope his team can do the same, but JSN the other comes on the flank, doesn't find the Sonic Wave though, and now the full send onto Steel Tips means he is not surviving. Now they're going in onto JSN the other. He's able to safeguard to relative safety as he is exhausted up. Keyshawn keeping Star away from the fight, but meanwhile, here comes Optech on the Weaver's Wall. They cut off the Lee Sin. I hate League of Legends camera, but it didn't look like anything more came out of it, just the kill on Ezreal.
Yeah, but we do see the power of the Zillion in some of these plays when teams are both looking to catch out a single member, as they did blow everything on Panma at the start of that play, but it was Caridians able to come through with the ult, so they couldn't follow up. Meanwhile, Steel Tips had found himself a bit too far forward looking for that initial pick, and it was him that goes down. So like you were talking about even before we got in here, you like the Zillion a little bit more than the Karma in some of these fights, and I think he's definitely showing the power of that champion. But one pick is nowhere near enough. It's going to take a lot more to find advantages in these fights, to find some of these objectives that they need, as Soul Point is coming up in only a minute, and with a 3-item Gwen, they're going to have to find something big if they want to find this objective and stop the Soul from going over to Jason the Fifth.
Yeah, they're going to look for a two-man play on top. Cyrac has his charm deflected and now has to deal with the grand challenge, except there are many others heading up to the top side. Cyrac still solo. A last vital for Starry. Is it going to get popped? Yes, it is, as now Keyshawn Robinson just trying to shred up the members of Big Rat. He does get stumped now. Hoptech solo has to flashback, has Sarah's rid of it. Peel as Starry needs a chrono shift, but Steel Tips is pushing everyone back, almost kills off Optech, now shifting forward, gets his man. Starry is soon to drop after, and Jason to the fifth take 3 kills.
Yeah, crucially, that was a 4v5 in favor of Jason the Fifth.
The true shot barrage at the last second to secure the triple kill. Panma, you're alone on the map. I don't think he'll have any say in this Baron take.
Yeah, Panma was not able to find his way into that fight, so it was, even despite the initial engage from Big Rat, they did not have the advantage in that fight. While it looked good initially, as they were able to find the initial pick onto Cyrac, they had to blow so much to kill him, which allowed Keyshawn Robinson to just come in and start to clean up. Steel Tips able to find a couple of kills on the back end of the fight as well. And now level 16 dinged for Keyshawn Robinson on this Gwen.
We may have a pick on Jason the other. Nicely done by Panma and Hoptech, but how's the rest of the fight going to look? Cyrac can't find the charm as Sightless is coming in over the wall. Cyrac spirit dashing to safety. Steel Tips, True Shot Barrage actually gets a good chunk onto Panma. Dragon still started up. Don't know if there's going to be any sort of contest. Gwen is still in mid.
Yeah, huge mistake from Jason there, getting caught out and blowing what should have been a free soul for his team off the back of that Baron. It was Hoptech able to find that pick with the seismic shove, and now all of a sudden Big Rat is gifted 5 more minutes to find a way back into this game. Only a 2k gold lead, and with that delay, Jason the Other only just spawning now, not much of a push is going to come out with this Baron buff. I think you're going to be feeling pretty good about how this play ended up if you are Big Rat.
Yeah, Big Rat not willing to let this game go without a fight. And in those 5 minutes where they're going to have to kind of farm up, they also have those playmaking tools of the Talia wall, of the Ash Art to look for any isolated member. As long as it's not the Gwen, they can definitely get something done, especially now that Keyshawn does not have his TP for a bit longer.
Yeah, Keyshawn, though, was able to find this the arm guard, so we'll have access to the Zanya's ability in this next fight, which could make it even harder for him to get taken down. He's continuing to take down these turrets.
But the arrow hits from downtown into a shove, and now Starry's here to lay down the law. They've got 3 guys take out Keyshawn. Is it enough? Yes, it is. Big shutdown for Starry.
Yeah, huge ult from Panma Jr. able to find that pick, and now the rest of the Baron push is stalled, and Big Rat is in the clear. The turret did go down, but now Big Rat has an opportunity to get back onto the map, get some of these lanes pushed out, and start looking towards these next objective spawns.
Yeah.
It is, however, still Jason the Fifth with that soul point available, and with both Dragon and Baron spawning at the same time, they might look for a trade. If Big Rat tries to go for the Baron, they could just take that soul away, which I think you're feeling pretty good about with how strong the Infernal Soul can be. Meanwhile, it's only the second Dragon for Big Rat, so if they're able to, you know, if they end up going for that second Dragon and trade it for a Baron, It's going to be a huge advantage for Jason.
Oh,
the Fifth as
Cyrac
well.
looking for a play. Has the Charm. Critians just barely gets the hourglasses down, but is it going to be enough? Here comes Keyshawn on the flank. Panma Jr.'s in his sights. He'll evade the needles for now, but another Mystic Shot slowing him up, and that is just barely not enough to kill him before the Gwen comes in to clean them all up. Starry's able to dash out over the wall, but Keyshawn, a skip, a slash, trying to set up for more. I don't think they got much in him. Karma coming around the other side with the Ahri. Does she have another Spirit Dash? She doesn't. Doesn't find the Charm. And a positive play for Jason to the 5th.
Yeah, ultimately it is just the one kill. Critians did not quite go down, actually, as was able to flash away after popping the Chrono Shift. But that will allow them to get some space onto these turrets.
Oh, now
a nice
Keyshawn?
wave clear coming out from Hoptech, though.
Keyshawn is able to move in and just turn that tower into paper. But I think the big thing there is that regardless of the kills you get a flash off Panma, you get a flash off Critians. Not really a lot invested by J5 to get those summons. That's going to make that soul fight so much more difficult unless they find a fling over the wall and burn a flash of their own.
Yeah, I mean, you say a lot, not a lot was invested, but crucially, they did get both summoners away from the Gwen. Definitely the more important one being that TP, as she's now going to have to walk to these objectives if she wants to be part of that play. So that does kind of remove some of the side lane threat, especially with Starry still having that TP available. So not at the end of the world for Big Rat, but it's really just going to kind of come down to these objectives, come down to this Infernal Dragon, to this Baron spawning in just a minute here. Teams starting to get their reset, trying to get those last items. It's 3 items finished across the board for Big Rat at this point. Meanwhile, a lot of the gold over to that Gwen, who's almost finishing up her final item. And you're really going to have to look to Keyshawn Robinson to carry this next fight.
Yep, Hoptech and Cyrac both have TP, but for now, Hoptech wants to move to the objective first. Just going to walk there with his legs. Sightless and Starry, though, are face checking into a brush, and Jason, the other's trying to put him down. Massive damage from Keyshawn gets the work done, as Cyrac's going to arrive on the Unraveled Earth, so he can't really do much, but a pick, I think that's more than enough for Infernal Soul.
Yeah, and did get the flash out of Uta as well, so it's going to be even harder, actually. Not even going to look for the contest. Looks like, or for the steal, I guess I should say. They're just going to opt to try and push out this lane, but that is the Infernal Soul just going to go over to Jason the 5th. It feels like every time a play is about to happen, it's always the pick that comes through. That time it was on to Starry, and that will give Jason the 5th the Infernal Soul and give them an entry to look for this Baron.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be their place of residence for now. Let's see if they're going to start up, and yes, they will. Starry will have teleport when she spawns up here in 5 seconds. So Baron has started and then just as quickly stopped, as it looks like Jason the 5th just clearing out some wards.
Yeah, Jason the 5th did not get an opportunity to reset yet, so I think they're going to be happy to kind of just back off, take that soul, and get back onto the map, and maybe look for this Baron. Do have the Gwen TP coming up in some amount of time, so we'll be able to get some of that side blade pressure back pretty soon. But yeah, I think definitely feeling very, very good if you are Jason the 5th right now. Up that Infernal Soul, up 3,000 gold. And we're really going to have to look towards Hoptech, towards Uta, maybe even towards Critians to find that pick.
Panma wanted an arrow, didn't find it. Now teleport's coming in from the Gwen. Can they get the play done? Nope. Clean disengage from Jason the 5th, and now Gwen is arriving on the flank, but how is she gonna deal with 3? I think she's gonna deal with it quite easily. Panma is gonna actually turn, and Keyshawn's quite low. Panma needs a Chrono Shift to stay alive. Jason the 5th getting pushed back as their top laner is gonna fall, but Steel Tip's now looking to take over in the fight. He's landing mystic shot after mystic shot and slaying him down. Sightless on the back line, but he cannot deal with all of J5. Cyrac has no Spirit Dashes left, but there's a Q from Jason the other. Hoptech can't escape the charm, can't escape from Jason the 5th. And now Jason the other going to chase on in. Good slow from Critians. He should get a return kill here with the help of the tower, but it is still 4 for 2 in favor of Jason to the 5th.
Yeah, looked good. Maybe 4 Big Rat at first were able to just finish off Keyshawn Robinson, but he created enough space for Steel Tips to find his way into the fight, to find damage onto the members of Big Rat and finish them off, taking advantage of the extra damage provided by that Infernal Soul. And it looks like that will just be the game going over to Jason the Fifth. Game one is under wraps.
Yeah, definitely a solid game from Jason the Fifth. Bit of bumps throughout the mid game, but overall just really showing up in these fights. Having the Gwen so far ahead certainly helps as they will move up 1-0.
Yeah, that'll do it for the first game. Definitely some good Hoptech has been opting for those melee picks and was moving to a range pick for I think the first time this tournament. Maybe he's had 1 or 2 games before. So I think it was nice to see him and Uta combine for some plays, find some picks, but ultimately Jason, each of the members popping off, especially Keyshawn Robinson on that Gwen. And of course, Steel Tips on the backside did have quite a good game for himself. Maybe not the center of attention, but exactly where you want your ADC to be.
Yeah,
And
I
we'll
mean
see if go ahead.
yeah, I mean when all the attention is going to the Gwen, it is so hard to get onto Steel Tips. He's so slippery at just finding angles into these fights. He's untouched most of the time because they have to deal with this Gwen first. He's able to rain down those Mystic shots. So, yeah, it wasn't flashy from Steel Tips, but certainly solid enough to get the job done. We are going to take a short break as we prepare up for Game 2. Jason the Fifth, 1 game away from locking in winners finals.
See you soon.
Oh shit, they're already this far in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for Game 2 of Winter Finals between Jason the Fifth and Big Rat. Jason the Fifth taking a early lead here in this series, going up 1-0. I am not joined by FaZe. I am instead joined by DMV participant himself, Interpede.
What's up? What's up? Glad to be here tonight.
Yep. So the teams this time around are going to go into draft from the client, and they are a good ways away already. So we'll see what they've got cooking in this first half.
Yeah, interesting take here from, I would assume this is Cyrac, but the early first round Echo. We actually played against this once, and it was very interesting playing against it, especially because he's a one-trick, so he definitely knows how to play the champion, and it warps the game a little bit, so gonna see how Blue Side adapts to that.
Yeah, will definitely be interesting. We do see that Big Rat are going for a very similar draft from last time. They have the Ashe, they have the Talia, they have that Enchanter kind of style in the bot side. Although this time, Jason of the Fifth have grabbed their Seraphine as a lot of targeted bans towards Keyshawn Robinson in the top side. No Gwen, no Aatrox, no Camille, and now no Gragas and Olaf as we go into the second round of picks.
Yeah, a lot of top lane and jungle power picks have been taken away this game. Even on the blue side, from we see the Camille, Aatrox, and Gwen first round banned. Viego locked in. Very strong pick, I think.
Yeah, those does mean that they are kind of light on CC between the mid jungle. Echo's W delayed, Viego's W not as good of an instigator. So we'll see if they're able to get engages off the Seraphine or if there's something Keyshawn Robinson wants to play in that department. We'll see what the top side of the map looks like for Big Rat as they try to round out this composition. And okay.
Yasuo's locked in.
Yeah, okay, so they're going for something spicier here. Hoptech
Okay,
does
okay.
have a Yasuo game in this tournament. It was paired with Diana, with Gragas. I
So
can't.
it might be like Ornn or Malphite or something, just with very like strong knockup engage. Because it has to be blind here, right?
Yeah, it has to be a line pick. Renekton Cassante band as well. The top lane pool really getting tested. Fiora is still up, has been a favorite of Starry throughout, but all right, I guess
It's a
it's
Yasuo
Yasuo
top.
top.
Interesting. Starry willing to blind Yasuo top here. I guess they do have I don't know even if they have games under it, but I'm just interested to see what Keyshawn is willing to pull out here now.
Yeah, we'll see what he's got up against this Yasuo. And I mean, Set is a pick that Schwoogs has played a lot of, but nope,
Oh,
it is going to be Kennen thrown down in topside.
this is very interesting draft from the side of Jason the Fifth. They have a lot of long range and a lot of single target, I think. But the only like multi-target abilities are like Cannon ult and Seraphine ults. But everything else is very like pick focused. And meanwhile, I would also say that Big Rat is also single target. Like Lisa and Talia, Ash Arrow. It's gonna be very interesting. Team fights with these two team comps are gonna be very precise, very down to the wire.
Yeah, I mean, the Yasuo not really provided any sort of explosive knockup that he can go off of, like you were calling for Ornn Malphite. Instead, he gets Lee Sin. Yeah, if you
It's
can get
actually
some great angles, it can be there, but generally, we more or less see it just being like, hey, I want that one guy, go kick that one guy.
Yeah, it's actually Lisa and top here. So we completely looked over that.
Yeah, I guess it makes a bit more sense to have the Talia being solo AP in the jungle so that there's no kind of armor stacking by someone who's not going to interact with the Talia if she were in the mid lane. So this is a style that Big Rat have played quite a bit. They've put Yuta on these more farm oriented junglers. Saw a lot of Karthus throughout the group stage. Even with Karthus up, they opt for the Talia, they flex it over, and we will see Hoptech's Yasuo for the second time this DMV.
Yeah, I'm still just surprised by the Lee Sin top pick here. I don't know much about Starry as a player, but Lee Sin top has had a phase, like I think like 2 years ago, where it was pickable mid and top, and it was very very strong. Maybe they have a lot of experience from that one meta, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely not a pick you see all the time. Will be interesting to see how it gets pulled off here. Because Starry has been playing more of these kind of dueling champions, champs that want to take advantages in the 1v1, like the Gwen, like the Fiora. Lee Sin doesn't feel like he can really achieve that as well. Feels like it's going to be more kind of even throughout the lane phase. If anything, I'd expect Kennen to be able to do a very good job in these early phases. Going to be more probably about team fights for Starry on this Lee Sin.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this lane would go. Like, I play a lot of Lee Sin. I feel like I know Lee Sin very well, but in the jungle role, so I have no idea how his lane matchups go. However, I feel like he has a pretty decent matchup against a lot of range champs. Maybe if Keyshawn is not too experienced in laning against Lee Sin, he might slip up because Lee Sin's two gap closers. If he lands slow on you, it is a lot easier to hit that Sonic, uh, like the Lee Sin Q, and that can be a very lethal trade.
Yeah, could certainly swing it back in Kennen's favor. But I think one pick that we kind of talked about a bit earlier and then kind of glossed over is Cyrac on the Echo. He blinded it this time around. He's not going to be facing down a mage that he kind of dives. I know back in the day, Echo was a pick into Syndra. Instead, it's going to be another melee in the Yasuo. A lot of interesting interactions throughout these compositions, but the Echo is something I've got my eye on personally.
Yeah, for sure. Heading into game now. See if there's any level 1 shenanigans. Game 2 between Big Rat and Jason the Fifth. What are your from the draft? What do you think is who do you think won draft?
I think Seraphine is broken. That is it. And I think Steel Tips is coming off a very good Ezreal game in game 1. I don't really see how Big Rat is going to operate. I'm a bit more bullish on a lot of their champions. How this Yasuo and Lee Sin are going to really find anything later on. Their melees going into Seraphine, going into Ezreal. It doesn't seem like a fun time to me, but I am hoping to be proved wrong, and I'm hoping for Big Rat to even us out and get us a game number 3.
Yes, sir. Can't wait for that game 3. Level 1 is underway. Looks like just standard 5 points for both teams. Lee Sin doing a little bit more sneaking in the top rush. But yeah, this Ezreal pick seems a lot stronger than I expected for sure. I've not played him much in the new patch with the new buffs. But Ezreal, this is a pretty good game for Ezreal too. Not a lot of like point and click CC, not a lot of high range on the side of Big Rat. So he has a lot more room to work with. Something that Ezreal players always love.
Yeah, love being able to shift around, grab whatever angles they can with those mystic shots, unlock the power of Deft, of Teddy, of all the get the Korean blood pumping through their veins. We do have Cridians paying a visit to mid lane. Does find a tiny comet onto Cyrac to get us started off.
Dang, the cheese right off the bat.
Yeah, we do see Cyrac going for Hail of Blades as Echo. Just trying to pop that passive as fast as possible when he dives in. Hop Tech with that fleet footwork, going to be able to survive laning phase pretty well. However, he's not against a ranged mage. He doesn't really need the Doran shield. I don't know if he really took like second wind or anything like that. So we'll see how that mid lane progresses. Feel like both of them get quite a bit more dangerous. As actually Dragon taking a rough trade, losing half his HP. Hop Tech hits level 2, just trying to dash on forward, get some control.
Yeah, Karma has a winning lane phase against like a very, very high percentage of supports. So for sure we'll be winning trades in that bot lane, but on the side of Steel Tips and Dragon, they do ding 2 first, so they get a little bit of saving grace here.
Yeah, we'll let Seraphine move up, get that early ward. Both junglers, though, pathing up towards that top side. So we'll see if there's anything other than just power clears from both of these junglers. Top lane was something we were a bit interested in at the start. For now, it is Keyshawn building up a bit of a wave. Don't think we're going to get any sort of dive shenanigans off it, though.
Yeah, looks about right. Cannon against any melee matchup.
Yep, he will get that pushed in. So even with Talia and Viego pathing up here, don't know if we're going to get any action. Keyshawn gets a nice early ward down. Starry just trying to pick up whatever CS she can.
Yeah, the Lee Sin E is deceptively high poke because it's scaled off. It has a very high base damage. And we see again the trade comes out here.
Yeah, we see a
The
decent
slow from the E
trade there as
lands.
Yuta's working his way up. Jason the other is here as well. Do we have an all-out brawl? Hoptech has worked his way here as well. Jason the other, though, not going to lose any sort of HP. A lot of guys, but no blood spilled.
Yeah, close call there. If the seismic shove landed, something definitely could have happened.
Starry couldn't find the Tempest that time, and Keyshawn going to make her pay. Level 4 hits, and that can't hit the Q. Both junglers just going back to bot side. We'll see if Yuta can finish the double crab.
Yeah, Dragon's really getting hit here. No mana already, and both pots gone.
Starry hits a Q in top side, but Keyshawn, lightning rush, a few autos, another first strike proc. As long as he's not dying, he's happy to get more gold in his pocket. Q hits, though, Star gonna flash, but he gets stunned by the Q. Keyshawn just barely alive through the minion autos. Sightless trying to get down here. Does secure that second crab. Top players are fighting to the last slivers of their HP, but no one is dead.
Yeah, I don't know if it's nerves or something, but Starry flashed before hitting the Q. Oh,
Can't find a Q again, and now another auto from Keyshawn is he's going to ward up the bush. The stun procs, and another first blood for Keyshawn.
Yeah, Starry is just so hungry for the kill.
And chaos on the bot side as Jason is going to arrive off that route, make it an easy kill on Cridians, and now just going to try to get some damage off of Panama. Don't think it's going to be another kill, but good start from Jason to the 5th.
Yeah, Cridians holds the flash there, so at least they keep that up for next time. But what the side lanes are already on the side of Jason the Fifth.
Yeah, stuff looking pretty good for them thus far. You mentioned the Karma having some early lane advantages this time. As a bot laner and a support in this tournament, do you just expect this to be more of a farm lane even with that Jason the other visit, or are we gonna get more action around there?
I feel like as the Karma player, you want to get more to happen because you get outscaled by every other enchanter.
Well, we may have to
gank
hold
coming
that
in here.
thought as Yuta lands the dry shove and good vengeance in the top lane.
A good kill back.
Well,
That was a
Critian's
huge seismic shove to hit there.
driving
Swings by mid. Nothing much will happen from that. But yeah, from the bot matchup, Karma really wants to push her advantage against like most of the supports in the game because she falls behind in utility in terms of like every aspect later on.
Oh, Starry may be greeting for these minions. Gonna have to safeguard out. Just the other no flash. Won't chase that one in. We'll just pick up not even that many minions as Keyshawn makes his way back.
Yeah, the speed up forward.
Yep,
They do want the trade here.
Oh, they even get a flash out of Steel Tips, respecting the inner flame from Critians. And we are seeing this Karma Ash lane taken over a tad here on bot side.
Yeah, this is what we want, but we just want to be able to capitalize more off of it. We see Uta is still like hanging around on the top side for now, and we know that the Viego is not bot. So they are just trying to push that advantage as much as they can right now.
Optech gonna burn the ulti in mid. We'll see if Cyrac exchanges his, but without those Steel Tempests hitting Cyrac, not in a lot of danger. Keyshawn able to lightning rush. Actually, I guess he got tagged by it. Starry trying to go in. I don't know what Spectator's trying to tell us. As Starry just gonna hit another one, but now Maelstrom's gonna come out. Sightless not gonna find that flick. So a lot of fighting. They did pick up 2 grubs. We'll see if they just go back for that third one.
Yeah, another really close call. Keyshawn was just like narrowly in the range of the QRQ combo from Lee Sin, which is deceptively high very early on because the Lee Sin Dragon's Lee Sin like ult base damage is really high. So very narrow there.
Yeah, Keyshawn getting out by the skin of his teeth on more than a few tries here by Starry in the top lane. It is 3 grubs secured on the first round for Big Rat. Jason the other going to trade it for Cloud Dragon on that bottom side.
Yeah, good cross map here. Pretty neutral state now. As we said, the gold is also pretty even in between the 2 lanes. Ooh.
Yep, Steel Tip's getting a nice chunk onto Panma. Just going to try to make it as hard as he can for this Ashe to farm underneath the tower. We do see Yuta working his way down towards the bot side. Has that Weaver's Wall now available. Can come out of nowhere with these ganks if the laners on Jason to the 5th are not careful.
Yeah, mid is pretty dead even too. But Yasuo was picked into the Echo, so I'm not sure whether he expected to try and like smash the matchup or even like counter it at all, or maybe like pick Yasuo to scale. But mid is pretty dead even. Just constantly scrapping with each other too.
Yeah, just constantly scrapping there. But yeah, it is going even for now. Cyrac, he is on a champion that he is very comfortable on in this Echo. So, I mean, the difficult part for Echo tends to be these early laning phases. If he has to go up against something like an Orianna, like a Corki, it's not really going to be a fun time. Here against the Yasuo, he's able to farm out a lot better.
Yeah, agreed. Echo being able to get to his first and second item is a pretty huge power point. Having talked to him before personally, he picked up Rise because that was one of Echo's biggest counters for the past few seasons. Champ is a little bit weaker now, but that was his main reasoning for why he learned that champ.
Gotta keep your enemies close. Gotta learn their own playbook.
That was also his logic for Galio too. And Galio's been a huge power pick for both these teams. Hoptech and Cyrac have both picked it alongside their Karthus.
Oh, Starry getting baited in by hitting a Sonic Wave, but Jason the other just in time, or is he? Yep, that's going to be a kill for him, able to safeguard back, so even with Sightless here, It's 1-0. Hoptech arrives. Now JSN the other just trying to go in, delay with that Heartbreaker. Echo working his way up. Flash in from Keyshawn, trying to get a stun down. Hits it onto Yuta. Taliyah just going to be able to walk to 1 hour. Will she? Cyrac is in. Can't quite find the angle on the Time Winder. Hoptech dashing back in. Still has that last breath available. No one is going to die. Just Starry.
Just the 1 for 0. We could see Big Rat really wanted something out of that and not going away
Hoptech's got a
with
flash. Cyrac flashing in after. It doesn't look like he got it. He had to Chrono Break out, as there's an ult on bot side from both the Ashe and the Seraphine. Panama sticking to it, but now Jace the other might be caught. He's down his flash. He is down his life, as Panama's got a flash away from the Mystic shots on bot side. Keeps getting pelted with Q after Q. That's 2 plates for Steel Tips, with Cridians having to move up to the top side.
Yeah, the Cridian's roam really dooms Ashe to under turret here, but so much chaos happening in the side lanes here, and in the end, eventually Big Rat does get the pick on JSN the other just randomly in the topside river.
Yeah, good pick there by Yuta. He is a bit away from his first item completion. Astari's going to swap over to the mid lane, but Cyrac going to be willing to scrap it out, gets half of Starry's HP. There is a Hex Drinker now on the Lee Sin, so he is going to generally be fine into either the Kennen or the Echo. We'll see if there's any desire to switch back, and it looks like there is.
Yeah, this Lee Sin just wants to fight anyone. Any AP champ he sees. He's got 4 swords and a shield. Oh, now it's 2 swords and a hammer, and some boots. But any AP champion he saw, he just wanted to pick a fight with.
Yeah, we do see JSN Vic moving up. Nice double shove out from Yuta. Dragon down below half. Would have liked to have a last breath there, but I think it is just going to be Grubs over. Ashe has not moved up. It would be 4v5. Sightless trying to move up, laying down the Qs, able to steal one away, but that was his smite. Now here comes Maelstrom for the re-engage. Taliyah is dead in the dirt. Does take over that 4 grub threshold, but gives up her life doing so.
Yeah, they burned everything to burst Uta down in 1 second. And if you're Uta, you're saying 5 volts for me? But they do steal 1 of the grubs away. So at least it's not 3 for the others.
Oh no, Cyrac is teleported in, lands the parallel convergence, Chrono breaks for the style points. And a nice pick off, punishing Panma for just wanting to eat good with those plates being left alone.
Yeah, the Echo is 2-0 now. He's starting to cook a little bit. And he got a good flank onto that. Oh, here we go.
Starry not going to really devote to the plays just yet. Dragon is on the Rift. And with Panma having to walk back out of base, that TP from Echo, they have bought them this objective as Yuta trying to move forward. Doesn't find the shove and now is in trouble. Here comes the encore. And Yuta will exit stage left. Cridians almost gets hit by the possessed fling there. Nice plays from JSN to the 5th.
Yeah, Uta just doing the same thing again, just walking straight into 3 people. It's almost as a repeat as what happened at Rift. Or at the Grub, sorry. But he gets punished for face checking again.
Yeah, and we're seeing some of the issues with this Taliyah thus far. Yeah, she's going to be strong as the solo AP threat late, but without the Ashe arrow, there just isn't a lot of setup for these flinks. She's trying to go in, land it dry on Steel Tips, who's taking it pretty dry in mid lane and gets killed off by Panma. Dragon arrives a bit late to the scene. Now going to get hit by the Ashar. Cridian's just trying to take up tower. Pave the way for Panma, and all of a sudden, there's 2 kills on the Ashe.
Wow. JSN the 5th, Steel Tips and Dragon really wanted to dance there and really bit off more they could chew. What a crazy take. You know, that was like completely unexpected that they could just randomly pick up 2 kills in front of their mid turret. But that is 600 gold they will gladly take.
Yeah, I mean, Panma has been a pretty underrated part of Big Rat's success thus far. It feels like we always have Starry getting ahead. We have Yuta and Hoptech teaming up for plays. But Panma, he's been put on Ashe duty. He's been putting in solid performances, both outputting DPS and finding arrows where they are needed. We'll see if he can unlock that second gear here to bring his team back into the series. But first, they're going to look to bring Dragon on in for a kill. There's the shove over the Unraveled Earth. Maybe didn't want the kill to go to Critians, but they will gladly take it, though. In top side, they need to get reinforcements up here for stars. She's going to take the Q in, able to ward hop away. Nice dance moves, as now Jason the other, not going to get hit by the flick. Hoptech wants to go in, has a Steel Tempest locked, but no knock up. It will probably just be a tower here.
Yeah, that was a good teleport on the side of Hoptech, so they pick up another turret here, and they have topside control if they want to swing that over to Herald. Jason the other is getting pushed out of his jungle. They'll trade that for a bot turret for the Echo, but the Echo is getting kind of scary. In this kind of very skirmish heavy comps, a Fed Echo could be really scary. It could blow up someone instantly. No one is particularly like super tanky. And if anyone could do it, it would be Cyrax's Echo.
Yeah, we'll see how he's able to perform. Lichbane finished up. Echo definitely happy with the kind of item changes, giving Lichbane quite a bit more power at the start of this season. Herald is claimed on the top side. We are at a pretty dead even gold state here at 16 minutes. Neither team really quite finding any edges.
Yeah. I'm still looking at this Talia pick. It feels really hard to play with her come the 20-minute mark. Here we go.
As actually Starry is just going to get caught out in bot side, has no flash from that earlier play. Cyrax and Jason the other will get it done.
Yeah, this bot side turret is really the death point for Big Rat, it seems here. 2 kills now picked up for them on that turret.
We will have Dragon coming up in 2 minutes. 2 drags to 0, favoring Jason the 5th. They have a lot of vision already set up around here thanks to that pick on Starry. They're definitely going to look to move themselves up to Soul Point. You think that Big Rat are coming out to contest this? What do they really need to be able to stand a good chance in this fight?
I feel like Big Rat is really just going to be looking for Ash Arrow. That's all they can... That's the safest way they can take this fight. Because walking into open ground versus Kennen doesn't have flash, at least, so there's one solace if they timed the flash or if they know it. But walking into open ground versus this Seraphine ult, this Fed Echo, it's really rough ground. So they need to either be there first and be there very early, or they got to have a really good Ash Arrow.
They may look for it here. Steel Tips has to shift from the tether. Caridian's training half his HP for a bit of Steel Tips. Still a minute out to that Dragon Sightless summoning up the Herald to charge down in mid.
Yeah, they do have the early position in the river right now, so that at least is one of the prerequisites.
Yeah, they're going to try to shepherd this second charge forward, but Caridian's rookie mistake there, not realizing that the Herald is broken beyond belief and glitches out constantly, so not able to get that second charge.
I've been there too, man. I've been there too. Don't worry.
You ever get into a car and it just suddenly 180s for no reason?
It's just, yeah, in real life, yeah, all the time, man.
We will go over.
Driving is a lot harder than it seems these days.
Yeah. We will. Actually, Ash Arrow going to come on down. Starry can't find the Q, but they're definitely going to find the pick on Dragon. Cyrax trying to make his way over to the flank. Parallel Convergence finds it onto Starry. But now with the shields coming through from Karma, he's actually going to Chrono Break back in. Burst of damage, but he's not finding anything back. Steel Tip's not going to get shifted on. He's able to get away from the fling.
Kennen TP.
Kennen is here splitting up the fight. Just going to go right for Panma. Good flash over the wall, but still gets stunned. Still gets heartbroken. And that will be a kill back for Jason to the 5th. Do we have anything more in this fight? Sightless is looking. Keyshawn doesn't have flash for a bit longer. Losing a lot of his HP. The rocks are starting to hurt. It is just
the side of Big Rat has 2 TPs available too.
They are going to try to teleport back to this mid lane tower. They're not going to let this one go. Steel Tips burning that shift. And now Keyshawn wants to turn it. Just bursts down. Yuta does cost him his life as the Encore does not find anyone. Flash Launcher Q trying to slow them down. Steel Tips able to get away for now. Starry down so low. Finds another Sonic Wave. I think that would be an ill-advised one to take. But that might be enough of a health lead to bring them this Dragon.
Both teams here just played a 3-minute long game of dodgeball. Just skill shots left, right, and center. We got Sonic Wave, we got Ezreal Q, we got Kennen Shurikens, even Echo Q. Everything's just going all over the place and just fishing for kills. The fight might not even be over yet.
Yeah, Cyrax trying to come in on another flank. Bit of deja vu as he's walking through the river alone here. Panama now without his summoners, he is a lot more vulnerable to the Echo. No attempt on Dragon just yet. True Shot Barrage through mid as the team's fighting over that lane.
Yeah, I was about to say, Big Rat filled out both prerequisites. They hit a good Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and they were in River early. But the fight just went so long that neither of those mattered. And now, in the end, Jason the Fifth has all of the river control, and it's so hard to walk in against these two ults. They're not even up right now, but the threat of them is just so hard to walk in on.
For now, they are able to get some ground back. The ultimate is available on Panama once again. Keyshawn looks for the flank, trying to just take the Super Blast Cone to his intended destination, but Optek's going to lock him down with the last breath. Down goes the Kennen, as Cyrac, though, gets a ton of burst damage. It's 1-for-1. It's a split fight here as Big Rat are on two fronts. Don't know if they can really get back in for this Dragon. Sightless is going to try. Cyrac just dodging away on the side. Dragon down below half as Steel Tips, maintaining his ground, throwing out these mystic shots.
Let him cook.
Oh, Starry trying to go back in, forcing the Chrono Break. But it is going to be Chemtech, Dragon, and Soul Point going the way of Jason the Fifth. Now Encore flash away from Dragon, but Starry wants to fly in, finds herself a pick, and now they may want to go for more. They just keep on chasing. They just keep on crippling. A double, and now Sightless riding in on the Weaver as well. He's got Steel Tips in his sights. He has to deal with all these rocks, has to deal with the flame, but he cannot. A big play for Big Rat.
Big Rats chasing them in the end, and they're finally hitting all their skill shots. 3 Sonic Waves in a row spells the death of Cyrac. Jason the Fifth do pick up Soul Point, but at what cost?
I mean, I like the creativity from Keyshawn there, trying to get in with that Mega Blast Cone, saying, I don't need Flash to get on my priority target. But he just gets instantly locked up by the knockups, by the kick disengage, I believe it was, into the wall, into the Hop Tech ult. So he wasn't even really able to 100-0 Panama as he maybe envisioned. Big swing here for Big Rat with the Baron, with a 2.5 gold lead, and looking to make it even more.
Yeah, finally a sizable gold lead has opened up in the game. What an intense last 5 minutes.
Yeah, both teams just trading blows back and forth. But it is Big Rat the victors at this point in the game. How do you want them to approach the sieges coming up with this Baron?
Well, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is always the #1 threat. You have to keep your eyes and your fingers ready to dodge that and to be on the lookout for that. Because one arrow could spell 2-3 turrets even. And their 1-3-1 is pretty good. You know, Yasuo and Lee Sin can definitely take on side lanes. Echo is strong, but not like strong enough to the point that he just one-shots either of Starry or Hoptech.
Oh, but actually Starry might be the one-shot. She's trying to get out, but Jason the Other is there with the Heartbreaker. Yuta trying to provide some defense. Decent fling, but here comes the possession. Scuttle Crabs taking the rocks for Jason the Other. Good pick in the side lanes, and that will cushion them out against this Baron buff.
Yeah, once again, this bot turret, it's a death spell for the side of Big Rat. Every time they walk up, they always get picked here.
It is haunted by the ghosts of all the rats that have perished. It is not a place that they want to wander in haphazardly. I mean, I was going to call out that Jason the Other was possibly wasting his time, that Big Rat were just going to group up around this mid lane tower and try to siege in, that they'd be down 2, but actually another shove, and Steel Tips just gets caught, bursted down, and Yuta able to find a good pick.
Yeah, Uta just saying, I don't need any setup. I can just time to turn up everyone by myself.
Yeah,
what a great pickup, and that opens up the bot tier 1 and siege onto the tier 2 here. Yeah. It might be a little hard, but
another
one
requiring no setup, no real help, burning a key flash off the Kennen.
Yeah, this Kennen flash is so cursed too. It's been on cooldown and then used for 1 kill and then on cooldown again. This next drag fight will be much harder for them once again too.
Yeah, we did see Cyrac pushing away on top, able to get a tower back for his team. Make sure that this Baron buff doesn't really swing the gold all too much. It is still going to be relatively even power in these items for that dragon fight in a bit over a minute.
Yeah, looking at the items now, it's I don't play Echo at all. Free disclaimer. but the Nashor's Tooth picked up on the side of the Echo. I feel like it's not really the best option here because I feel like the side of Jason 5, their goal is to try and like one-shot someone. You know, the Cannon ult and the Echo Hail of Blades, Lichbane does a lot of upfront damage. Maybe the Seraphine and Ezreal have good TPS, but in the end, I don't feel like you're out DPSing Ashe, Yasuo, Talia. I could be wrong, but that's just my take on the Nashor's Tooth.
Yeah, I mean, Cyrac just wants to swing that glow stick around as much as he can. We do see Big Rat moving in, getting vision first around this river, and Starry just chasing in onto Jason the other. Gonna lose a lot of HP, but the kick onto Kennen immediately converting into the last breath, and that's Keyshawn Robinson trying to survive as long as he can, but he will still fall. Ash Arrow snipes out Jason the other. He has the cover of the Encore, and it is enough to stay alive. Steel Tips trying to chip in some damage. Cyrac still in top. I think this dragon is property of the Rats.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the Kennen death, this is probably what I would have done if I was aside Jason the Fifth.
Thought Pama was going to get a bit frisky there in mid, but the Seraphine dissuades him. Cyrac, another tower going to the Echo. Optech wants to shift forward, make him pay for it, but will not find that knockup. Still dragon secured for Big Rat. Though in mid, Pama going to get chunked out by the Viego. Just going to fight back, though. A shove, a snap of the Karma Tether. And Pama Jr. now 5 kills on the Ashe.
Another seismic shove, another kill. It's a good pickup in the mid lane. And back to what I was saying before, that map state was probably what I was hoping for Jason the Fifth. They give up the 4th drag. They don't need that. They already got 3, and they pick up that tier 2 for their Echo. That would have been the best case scenario aside from the Kennen death. And now the Viego death in the middle adds a little bit more of a gold disparity. Now it's up to 4K on the side of Big Rat.
Yeah, I mean, we see the Viegos go for these more kind of DPS builds with the Kraken Slayer. Not as bruisery of a build until he really gets more items under him. So if he goes for any of those sort of picks, tries to be over-aggressive, he can definitely be punished like he was there.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're kind of like misestimating or underestimating the Ashe damage, maybe. And the Wit's End 3rd item is actually pretty great from Panma. I like that. A lot of Ashes this tournament so far have been going like Kraken into PD IE. And while that is pretty great, I think getting like on hit on Ashe like Bork and then like Runans or Wit's End here has been pretty good too. I personally like it a little bit more. But I haven't played a lot of Ashe recently, but it also does look really strong against his team because the Kennen is not really far ahead. So if you build like a little bit of magic resist maybe on top of the Karma shields, you can really take a hit from him and not take that much damage.
Yeah, I mean, against these AP solo laners, MR definitely going to be a valuable stat for the side of Pama Jr. We will now see a lot of dancing around this Baron, but Cyrac, is he really overextended? No, he's not. He can't find the fling. A Starry needs to disengage immediately from that Kennen. Back to mid lane we go.
Yeah, Starry's just walking around kicking everyone he sees, man.
Yeah, we do see Yuta claiming a bit of control back. They're going to probably just look to move in, take whatever vision they can around this Baron. Still a very even state here. 28 minutes in. Neither of these teams really given up much. I do want to talk about Keyshawn Robinson, though. It's not his best Kennen game thus far, but Starry's been a player that has been performing very well for Big Rat throughout this tournament. Keyshawn dominated game 1 against her, and even in the match before this, when he was faced up against Seimanusuke, one of the higher-rated players in this DMV, he was able to find advantages, able to find wins for his team. So he is someone I definitely want to shout out. We'll see if he can get creative with these Kennen flanks to try to create opportunities here and send his team to grand finals.
Yeah, one of the underrated things about Keyshawn is that they're Camille one trick, so automatically they draw one ban in draft. With Camille being so strong that it's like instantly banned in phase 1.
Cyrac gets very aggressive, wanting to convert off that parallel convergence. Burns his flash, but gets Panmas in return.
I would say that's pretty worth. The 80 flash for an Echo flash. Not too bad of a trade.
Yeah, definitely going to be harder for Panma to survive in those big fights when everyone's just trying to chase him down. Karma going to provide some help, and I think one critical thing for the side of Big Rat is going to be that exhaust. The Kennen, if he's running into exhaust, if he's running into a locket, if that's what Cranians is building third, he does nothing. He just gets absolutely eviscerated. He doesn't have his Zonias. He will pop. He will do no damage. So if Cranians can hold on to that, it is going to be pretty good for Big Rat, as this dragon is spawning in 50 seconds.
Yeah, good call on the Zonias. Keyshawn did opt out of the Zonias for more damage. I don't know if it was Crypt Bloom or Shadow Flame third, but no Zonias means that they are really, really trying to burst whoever that Kennen is ulting. But Kennen does have Flash, and with no Ash Flash, definitely is a harder fight for Big Rat to take.
Yeah. I do want to see if Steel Tips can get over to that third item. It doesn't look like he will, so there will be a decent disparity in the power of these AD carries. We'll see if Panma can make it count.
He's just slinking over in this bush. Cyrac on the side too, but both these teams just really want to flank and fight from all angles. Neither of these teams really want to fight front to back at all.
Yeah, we do
And
see
the
Jason
Dragon will be spawning now.
Jason Other reclaiming space for his team, trying to move in. They have a lot of members on Vision on Big Rat, so they're just going to move back to mid. Cyrac has started up the Dragon, and it is going to be Jason the 5th with the control for now. And yep, Dragon just taken away.
Already gone.
That's Chemtech's soul, and Big Rat couldn't get in to make a difference. They're fishing for a fight, but they're not going to get it.
You know, I was doubting the Gnasher's Tooth, but really Cyrac just bought it to farm jungle camps, man. Like, Jungle Echo builds that first item, and they just used it to shred the dragon.
Yeah, it does cost some time. Now Keyshawn coming in on the TP. He's immediately exhausted. No Zonias! And he is spotted, taken down. Not what he envisioned with that TP.
Good eyes on the side of Big Rat. I saw someone pinging that TP, like, immediately, and then the exhaust dropped. Like, that Kennen was just dead right off the bat. Even the seismic shove to hit it.
And now with no Kennen, it's Baron started up. Don't know how Jason the 5th are going to get in for this. It is going to be another Baron. True Shot Barrage for a miracle is not going to be answered. Cridians, though, might face check into Jason the Other. It looks like all of them, though, evacuating through bot side. So it is Tower for Baron and the Kennen.
They're chasing this still.
Yeah,
the Blast Cone?
Oh, Mega Blast Cone gets them all out. Yasuo can't last breath. That is actually Star's going to go in.
Sorry.
Finds the knockups. Here comes Hoptech. Steel Tips dead first. It's not looking great. JCR trying to look for any sort of resets he can, but they have to scatter. They have to flee because Hoptech is chasing him in, slicing down Jason the Other. Starry kicks off Dragon on the bot side. And a TP into mid. Cyrac, no chrono break. Has to lay down. Converger's going to go for the fight onto Starry, able to safeguard away for now. Optech teleporting to the top side. And another arrow onto Keyshawn. Trying to turn it around. But no dice. Panma on a rampage.
The Kennen flash. It's so cursed. You couldn't get anything out of it again. Even Cyrac gets away here too. But a huge swing. It just felt like Jason the 5th just collapsed across the map.
And a sigh of relief for Big Rat. It felt like stuff was slipping away. It felt like they couldn't find fights that they wanted. They lose the Chemtech soul, but all of a sudden Keyshawn shows up on that TP, gives over his life, and now 2 inhibitors. Keyshawn, Jason the Other still dead.
Yeah, that's a massive kick from Starry in that fight too. You know, we were really doubting how Lee Sin would manage to get a multi-person kick, even like a kick on one good target. But he gets it straight to he gets the Q straight into the middle of 4 people and kicks 2 people, and the fight is just done instantly right there.
Yeah, not enough peel from Dragon. He has Redemption, he has McHale's, he has Exhaust. Steel Tip still dying first in that fight was huge. And now, all of a sudden, we've got almost a 10k gold lead. Even if you want to factor in Chemtech Soul for some kind of power, it is looking good for Big Rat.
Yeah, it's just pretty rough now. Starry's just going to stat check everyone now.
Cyrac, yep, losing out on that trade, but he's able to make hay get away. Hoptech is here. Arrow, ooh, just barely not finding its mark.
Yeah, Cyrac has gotten a lot of sidewave uh, pressure and stuff done, but it's just not enough. His damage is not enough to one shot through the Wits End, through the Merc Treads, even the Jack Show from the Yasuo.
Optech even opting for those tankier items. And Big Rat just staying grouped up as 5, not sending anyone to sides, not getting too fancy. They just want to brute down this third inhibitor. Keyshawn doesn't have flash, still could look for an angle. Cyrac actually gets a massive chunk down, and the Encore just barely not connecting, but Keyshawn's in! The kick, though, means there is no lightning, no massive turn for Keyshawn.
Yeah, the disengage was so good on the side of Big Rat. Wind wall for the Encore, and then kicking out the Slicing Maelstrom, and now they're just right back to Siege.
Right back to that tower. No Kennen ult, no Seraphine ult, all that AoE. Not finding much. Cyrac still trying to dive forward, finds some damage onto YouTube, but has to chrono break back out. Contra Q clipping him. Starry wants to chase for more. It's just going to be an inhib, though. Triple winhib for Big Rat.
Yeah, 3 inhibs down now. Once they synchronize the waves, it's going to be so hard to fight them. Starry's just still running straight into them.
Yep, just finds another kick onto steel tips, and down he will go. Jason, the other, looking for anything back, but now without their Ezreal, without their main DPS, without much wave clear, it's looking like Big Rat won a game 3. And now they're diving in onto Cyrac. Hoptech is unopposed with these Steel Tempests, just slashing him with the power of the wind. Cyrac's able to get back in for one, pad a bit of KD. But he will not be saving this game. He will not be saving his Nexus. Big Rat evening us up and getting us to that game number 3.
Load up the silver scrapes, baby. We're going to game 3. I'm so excited to see what these teams pull out in game 3, because this Lee Sin Yasuo actually worked wonders this game.
Yeah, it definitely found its light in the later stages of the game when those kicks were starting to come through, and there just wasn't enough peel for Steel Tips to get out of it.
Yeah, maybe they cooked a little bit. Maybe they did cook a little bit in draft.
Yeah, I mean, like,
we really doubted the Lee Sin. Yeah, we really doubted the Lee, but I guess if you hit all your Qs, you can never miss an ult.
Yeah, definitely a more complex game plan, perhaps. They played the Vi to Leo like, oh, we're just going to straightforward see someone ult them. Now it's like, okay, we're going to need some hands. We're going to need some execution, but they pull it off with flying colors. We're going to get a game 3 here between Big Rat and Jason to the 5th. Who will be able to make it to grand finals? We will get the answer to that after this break, as we will head into that final game. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for Game 3, the deciding match between Big Rat and Jason to the 5th to decide who moves on to Grand Finals. I'm joined by Inner Pete as we get into draft for Game 3.
Yeah, bans are still looking exactly the same as Game 2. I think the side of Big Rat was very happy with their draft, apparently, because it worked so well in the later half of the game. Let's see if they change up the bans for red side here. And nope, all 3 bans will remain the same on the side of Jason the 5th as well.
Yep, that does mean the Ashe comes out. Been a lot of priority on this champion by the side of Big Rat throughout this round. They've taken blue side every chance they get. They had blue side even when they didn't have the chance. And they've taken Ashe every single time. This time, the Talia, though, will be in the hands of J5 for the first time this series.
Yeah, Ashe B1 has been the theme of the whole tournament, I would say. Just the single safest, strongest pick. But a good steal away of the Talia on the side of Jason the Fifth.
Yeah, we did see the power of Talia's flexibility coming in last game, allowing Big Rat to throw that big left hook of the Lee Sin top. They are going to run back the Karma support, and now probably have to decide some piece of their mid jungle here.
I'm interested to see if Jason the Fifth will run back to Ezreal too, because the Ezreal looked more like what we expected Ezreal would look like. Would be in the last game. Lilia as a blind pick here, or into the Talia is I would say it's just a pretty farming heavy matchup. Both junglers just want to clear and have strong setup in their lanes.
Yeah, it definitely feels like when you see the Talia on the other side, knowing that she can go into that jungle role, you got to pay the respects. You can't play stuff like the Sejuani, like the Vi that Yuta has played throughout this tournament, because you'll just get lapped in clears. But we have an engaged champ bot, and that probably means Seraphine is going to be farming.
Yeah, highly likely that this is going to be Seraphine slotting into the AD position. I highly doubt that Cyrac would play this as in mid, but we never know. Same thing with the Talia. It's technically a flex, but I don't believe Cyrac would play Talia.
I'm looking to see if Dragon has a game on these more engaged champions throughout this DMV. It has been a lot of Seraphine and Karma for him.
Ooh, the Yasuo ban here. A little bit of respect thrown to Hot Tech. The Olaf ban was kept the same as game 2.
Yeah, so
and the Kennen ban.
Is it going to be 5 top lane bans? Is Keyshawn just in their head rent free?
No way they pick Lee Sin again.
That's technically another top ban.
Yeah. Technically another top ban, yeah. It could be a flex ban too, but that is 5 top bans.
Yeah, we'll see. Keyshawn did have a game of Pantheon earlier on. Skarner is still up. One of the most powerful top laners has been left up every draft, but both top laners have just want to say, no, I'm ready to throw down. I don't need a tank. I don't need an OP champion. Give me something with skill. And they're going to leave Keyshawn's pick for last and put this Talia into the jungle with Ryze mid.
Now, if I'm on the side of Jason the Fifth here, we are definitely needing to pick an AD champion on the 5th position because we have 4 AP champions already. So, and the Seraphine is not really too great. Like death balling with the Talia and Ryze. Like I guess it's okay, but you want to death ball with things that have like higher range and higher I guess DPS. Well, Ryze will fill that, but his range is pretty short. The Tristana mid to match the Ryze. Tristana would be something you would want to death ball with, as a perfect example.
Yeah, Tristana is a solid pick here. Last time Big Rat were piloting this pick, it was into a similar situation. Cat with Gun was talking about how Tristana can just go Merc Treads first against these AP mid jungle combos and feel very safe playing aggressive in those lanes, jumping on people's heads. Gragas is going to be the pick, and Garen is there for Keyshawn Robinson. So the AD is going to come from Demacia, and with a pretty big single target ult at the very least.
Now, it's most likely Garen top, but I will say I have seen an unhealthy amount of Garen mid in my solo queue games as of recent. It's probably Garen top. And Keyshawn locked that in instantly. He knew exactly what he wanted to play as soon as he saw the Gragas locked in.
Yeah, with so many top bans, these top laners getting pushed to the limits of their champion pool. Gragas going to provide a lot of good peel and disengage for these 2 marksmen come the later stages of the game. Not exactly sure how the lane's going to go. I have to imagine Gragas is still good there, but maybe Keyshawn knows something I don't, as he seemed, like you said, very confident in this pick.
Yeah, maybe he might win the lane in isolation, but honestly, I feel like this is a huge draft win on the side of Big Rat. Their team comp just feels much more fluid, much more easier to execute. They have very strong side laning, very strong, like dimension and identity to their team. On the side of Jason the Fifth, it's a lot more like you just gotta stack everything together. Otherwise, if they don't, they just get out damaged, outranged, out kited, a lot of stuff. Like they have to, if they win a fight, they have to hit everything at once, in my opinion.
Yeah, they have the engage options with the Nautilus to kind of full send it onto someone. But, I mean, the picks are lined up top to bot, I think. So I don't know if Dragon is going to be the one farming on Seraphine, while Steel Tips moves to Nautilus. Steel Tips has played support, landed a pretty sick thresh hook.
Yeah.
In the last DMV. So looks like that's how they're going to draw it up. And I mean, I think that makes sense. I don't think Dragon has a single non-Seraphine Milio game thus far.
I think so, yeah.
So putting the engage in the hands of Steel Tips is going to be how Jason the Fifth won a rock here in Game 5 or Game 3. I keep thinking deciders at Game 5, but we're not there yet.
Yeah. You know, I feel like this is a relatively good call to put Steel Tips on an engage support and have Dragon farm on Seraphine. I don't know if she's actually played farming Seraphine or not, as the build and the playstyle is very different. But having someone that's able to just pull the trigger, because I know Steel Tips can play engage supports. Someone that knows how to pull the trigger and knows how to skirmish and set up for your Rise Talia, especially. They're relatively they're short ranged and they need to be able to get someone to CC so that they can reach them. Is very important. And having the presence of mind to just be able to take it upon yourself and say, I will play the a million deaths in one game champion, but I will do it and get my team everything they need is huge.
Yeah, and I mean, across the board, it's a different look for Jason the Fifth because on the jungle side, Jason the Other has almost always played those AD skirmishers, Wukong, Vi, Lee Sin, Xin Zhao. It's a different look here to be on a more farm-oriented champion like the Talia that won't have that kind of playmaking skirmish ability in the early game.
Yeah. Oh, you need to restream. Your stream closed.
Unlucky. But we are now on to the Rift here for Game 3. Big Rat versus Jason the Fifth. Who is going to punch their ticket to the grand finals here? As we are on to the Rift to find out.
I was hoping that they would do some level 1 shenanigans with the Nautilus, but it looks like another 5-point coming out. And it is Farm Seraphine on the side of, or with Dragon piloting it.
Yeah, I don't know if Big Rat are actually complaining about pick order. Like, they could have known Steel Tips would have gone into... Oh, well, hold that thought as Starry comes down, blows the flash off of Jason the Other. We'll see if there's any more scuffling to be done. Sightless gives over a Dark Harvest stack.
Uta might need to flash if Kishan keeps going.
Nope. Doesn't look like it. So, at the end of the day, it's a flash off Jason the Other, but a ward is down on their blue buff, so some early information will at least be gained by Jason to the Fifth.
Yeah, Jason the Other throwing the ward down on blue and just saying worth as Steve flashes out.
I will know exactly where the enemy jungle is. I will definitely not die to that level 3 game.
Yeah. And Kishan really trying to exploit this scared matchup. I'm interested to see how this goes. Like, I know nothing about top.
Yeah,
and he has Ignite too. Yeah, he's really just trying to throw down the gauntlet and push his way to victory, I guess.
Yeah, we do also see the adaptation on Starry's side, though. Not taking Grasp, not taking Comet, taking that Phase Rush, dropping the combo, and then walking away as Garen menacingly spins at you.
Just trading the body slam for the Garen Q nonstop. It's just so funny to watch. It's very interesting. Gragas lane mechanics are so interesting to watch with like his Jax laning, having to like cancel or having to cancel the jump and stuff like that.
I will say Gragas was not too oh, actually he doesn't at level 2 and is going to take a lot of damage. Ignite is not going to be used. Starry popping the pots, Hop Tech jumping in mid lane. but a very good trade for Keyshawn and an early recall for Starry.
Yeah, lanes are starting to look like how they're expected to look like. And Keyshawn got a very heavy trade in. Might look for the dive. Let me see here.
Yeah, Starry did not finish that back, so did not opt to just TP back. Has the Drunken Rage for some damage reduction. We do see Talia started top, but pathed fully down, so no early game dive shenanigans, at least with JSN the other.
Yeah, it does look like Lilia is pathing up here now, so at least Starry will have some safe time to farm. Another cool thing that Garen will just W the barrel every time, so Garen can really just like infinitely out-sustain the Gragas.
Yeah, both of these champions having some damage reduction in their kits. I will say, Gragas was quite a bit less skill-intensive in his top lane play when his sustain was just kind of off the charts. You could just hold an entire minion wave for so long and end up in a freeze. You can take bad trades and get bailed out of it. Since they've nerfed that sustain, there's a bit more punching. Steel Tip's flashing in. They have JSN the other looping in behind. Panma is so low, ignited up, and they serve it up. They may even get Cridians off that shove. Panma can't fight out of the alcove, and JSN the other gets first blood, and he's going to be getting second soon enough. Cridians with the flash and shield, though, does get out alive.
Oh, that's the Nautilus pick coming in. Well, Steel Tip said, I'm just going to engage everything for the team, and he does so successfully, burns the flash, and just runs straight into the middle of them, and lands the CC setup for Talia.
Yeah, we saw Ashe Karma pushing their advantage, getting that early push with the double ranged, and I mean, Seraphine Nautilus has a ton of setup. Maybe not the lane you want to go to, because they don't really exactly snowball, because Seraphine's just kind of going to do whatever no matter what, but still able to find a good angle. So Yuta has to come up here, make sure this wave gets in. Keyshawn pretty low, tanks a W. Oh. Double flash ignite is ticking. Starry tries to flash for the W, but it's not enough. And Starry is not going to finish the job.
Look at those HP bars. Uta's got to have single-digit HP, too. That is a crazy series of events that just happened.
And suddenly we are looking at a 1k gold lead for the side of JSN to the 5th. These lanes going pretty well for them with or without any jungle intervention. We did see Hoptech jumping and taking some trades, but hasn't really meant much in the CS department.
Yeah, Zerkagreeve's first back for the Garen is pretty crazy.
He's going to be spinning. He's going to be spinning so fast.
Going to be spinning. Yes, sir.
And I think another interaction we saw there in the Gragas Garen lane in some of those trades is the fact that if Gragas is silenced, he can't pop the Q. So regardless of if he places it down as Garen goes in on him, he can't really get value before Garen's already on top. This wave is pushing in to Starry here, but both junglers on bot side probably won't result in much.
Yeah. This game is starting off exactly like it did last game too, with both side lanes picking up a kill, or both side lanes on the side of JSN the 5th picking up a kill. So now we'll just see how River Skirmishes will start to execute. Hoptech is starting to roam over towards the top side here.
Yeah, there's no vision for Keyshawn, no flash for him either. Steel Tip's going to find the hook onto Panma, and here comes the fling, and it's just all too easy on the bot side. Meanwhile, doesn't look like Hoptech found any sort of angle onto Keyshawn.
Yeah, this will just be the grubs for Dragon Trade on the side of JSN the 5th, but a +1 kill added to the ticket for the side of JSN the 5th. Hoptech didn't find anything to the top side. And there's that Nautilus pick working out again.
Yeah, I will say, this probably feels very nice for JSN the other. It's like, I can't really go bot lane like any game except for dives when we're playing double range. Now having actual setup, I can actually line up these flings and bring some action to the bot side of the Rift. Keyshawn getting a bit aggressive. Doesn't have Ignite. Don't think he can ever push for lethal, really. Start pushing him back. Has the body slam into cast.
Going in.
Yuta is here, but the wall helping Keyshawn out a tad. There's Swirl Seed in the burn from Lilia. The dust is just barely going to help him out. He should survive up there as well. Nice pick from Big Rat.
Yeah, really a game of inches, and ultimately a Lilia auto attack is what finishes the kill. Keyshawn trying to pilot his way out of it, but just gets taken down at the very end.
Good stuff there, even though HopTech spent some time roaming up to the top, hasn't really gotten anything to show for it. Positive plays for Big Rat. Meanwhile, we do see level 6 ticked over in the bottom side now. Panma should almost be there. Does unlock that Ashe ult in case Yuta ever wants to pay a visit down here, make any plays.
Yeah, we do see some of the farm leads starting to open up. The wave just did crash into Garen though, so it looks like it's pretty even there. But the bot side of Big Rat is taking a small 15 or so CS lead. It might also be just that Dragon is not used to farming.
Yeah, can definitely feel a bit out of the element, even if it's champion you're very familiar with. As, yeah, back in topside, we do have a bit more trading, but I mean, Gragas doesn't really have combat power in his items just yet. It is just a lot of mana around for the big guy.
Yeah, that Catalyst giving a lot of HP though. It makes it, to me, it makes it look like he's just very tanky as an AD carry player. But yeah, all the focus has been in this top lane so far. But bot is starting to pull away too. The 20 CS lead is opening up more and more. And Swifty Boots finished up on Steel Tips is a pretty good call. I like that bot.
Yeah, able to deal with the Ashe slows, get into position. Lilia slows, Gragas slows. There's a lot of good stuff to reduce with those pair of shoes. Not a lot of action just yet. Did mention the Ashe ult as a playmaking opportunity. Talia ult can definitely provide a bit of the same here for JSN the other.
Well, Keyshawn's really getting beaten down now.
Yeah. We won't see Sightless or Yuta move up there for any sort of dive. HopTech just jumping in with that bone plating. Happy to take a trade wherever he can in this matchup. But Nautilus has moved up to top side as well. Also a benefit of these more engaged supports. And Starry won't be able to crash this wave and now has to deal with the Nautilus. The cask not quite in time, but it may be enough. Depth charge though chases in. The Weaver's wall chases in. And Keyshawn gets his second kill.
Yeah, that was super well played on the side of Steel Tips, honestly. Just not like risking it and flashing in with the hook, even though he was already in hook range, but making sure that Starry couldn't react in time to body slam it, and she would have to either flash it immediately right away, and then the depth charge would follow instantly.
Oh, but is Keyshawn in a rough spot here? His teleport's coming on through. He doesn't have flash. Yuta should just be able to chase this down. So, yeah. Yep, just going to be a nice, easy kill for Yuta off the back.
A little bit greedy off the side from Keyshawn. He really needs to take everything he can get, and losing that death for tempo again is going to be even rougher for him now.
Yeah. Speaking of making things rougher, Steel Tips roaming up there costed Dragon a plate and a good bit of CS as he was forced underneath the tower. Is Seraphine, so will provide a lot of utility. If there's anyone you want a weak side on this composition, it would be her. So not too upset over it. Dragon up in about 50 seconds. We'll see if either team concedes the point or if we'll actually get a brawl over it.
Yeah, if I'm chasing the other here, it's really hard to play either side of the map right now because both of his side lanes are pushed in. They're taking the skirmish on the top side.
Oh, the cleanse didn't come in time. Dragon is going to be slept up. The encore will not receive any sort of applause. And a nice little pick there, though Void Grubs go... Actually, no. Starry was able to steal away a Void Grub on topside, so they actually do hit 4 Grubbins.
Yeah, that's honestly best case result for them, with a kill bot and a Grub stolen. The proxy's coming out from Keyshawn now. There's a little bit of a split map going on here. The Dragon's coming up soon, and that'll probably be going over to the side of Big Rat. But it looks like they're collapsing here.
Finds a good chunk on the flick, and now the dredge line brings in the deer.
This Nautilus pick is working wonders. What a great pickup on the side of Steel Tips. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, and that will lead the way for a second Dragon going the way of JSN to the 5th. They've had a lot of Dragon control throughout all of these games. They will be up 2-0, and Mountain Soul will be the Rift of choice here.
Okay, Keyshawn coming up for a flank. Does get the cancel on the... or not the cancel, sorry, but the silence on the barrel proc. But yeah, it feels really crazy that Jason the Fifth got both of the objectives there.
Now, we do have to enter a pause for a brief second, but yeah, despite the fact that Steel Tips spent a lot of time on the map, despite the fact that Dragon was at that tower for a lot of this game, they're able to get 2 drags, not give over that stacking to the Karma Ashe that has more laning power. Definitely something going their way.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the Nautilus so far. It's been they've been working out well with the Talia. Everywhere that Nautilus has gone in, the Talia is matched, and they've gotten the free seismic shove, and it's just worked. Maybe it's a little bit of disrespect on the side of Big Rat, but regardless, it's been working well.
Yeah, not sure how much Big Rat may be prepped for. Seeing these engaged champions in bot lane, I thought rewinding would be good enough there. Oh my god. Alright, avert your eyes as the timeline will come up. Oh no, there we go. Okay.
Production quality, oh my god.
Absolutely. No, but it looks like we've got
even their recalls are synchronized. Like Jason the other was calling for this pick and draft. He was like, I need this CC support.
Yeah, definitely looking good for him thus far. We do have Keyshawn moving up, taking some plates away in top side. I'm not sure if it's the pause or what, but I can't see plates on the mini map for either side. I don't think Tristana's gotten any. I felt like Hoptech would. We haven't really talked about the mid lane that much because just not a lot has happened.
Yeah, it's just been
like
farming
Tristana could maybe get some advantages. Has not panned out that way thus far.
Oh, the face check maybe?
Oh, Utah's going to find 2 members with the
dodge.
Lullaby as everyone's coming up to the top play, but not Panama and Cridians. They're just going to take out Dragon all on their lonesome, but now Starry is caught out. She's going to be traded back, so even though Utah was looking for the fight up there, results in his top laner's death.
Yeah, poor Dragon being weak-sided, farming on Seraphine. She probably did not expect this coming, but on the strong side top.
Well, Jason the other trading flash for flash. Just not able to connect that seismic shove.
A full turret mined over on the side of the Ashe. This Ashe can be very scary. Like, there's no very hard dive threat. If you have to use the depth charge on Ashe, if you can even reach her, then Tristan and Lilia can still go wild.
Yeah, a lot of carry threats for Jason to the Fifth to keep in mind. If we open up the gold chart, it is about 2k gold advantage for that Ashe by herself down there. And now they're going to use that to move in, take away some of these bot side camps.
Yeah, it is. Leandri's coming out for Seraphine. Ooh, here we go.
Starry able to disengage that, but now Jason the other might get picked off here. Hoptech trying to jump in. He's locked in the Rune Prison. And actually, the Rise is starting to pump through some damage. And Utah's gone a bit too far. There is a nice snipe, though, by Cridians to get it back. Keyshawn and Starry duking it on top side. Starry walking the wrong direction. Should be able to fight back. No ults on either side. Keyshawn trying to ride in with that Q. Laying down the silence. Flash for flash. And it's Keyshawn taking ahead in top. And now a flash onto Hoptech. He's got no way out. Steel Tips on point once again.
Hoptech disrespecting and staying in a flash auto range. I don't know if he was expecting the flash, but finally, after three deaths, the Garen matchup is finally going his way in the top side.
Yeah, so despite that Ashe getting that first tower there, it is going to be 2 structures going the way of Jason the Fifth, bringing them out to just over a 1k gold lead.
Yeah, the team's going to reset now and maybe beeline straight to the Herald here. Yeah, it does look like it. We might see another fight brewing soon. If the Big Rats can get and engage on their terms, I still feel like their team fight is stronger. It just feels like the Lilia or Gragas or whoever is just getting all the spells burned on them without any response. And like that is exactly what the win con is for the side of Jason the Fifth. They need to burn everything on one person and just hit as many people as possible right off the bat, because they will get out DPS as the game goes on.
Yeah, we see Jason here trying to move in, smites away the blue. It's a bit of revenge for what happened on his blue. Yuta still wants
he
to go
walks
for
back
a
in?
fight, as Nautilus, though, is buying time. Here comes the watch out eat, but Cyrac just does so much damage with these overload charges. Starry is gonna
Still
burn
tanky.
down! Not quite! Yes, she does. Hop Tech not able to find the kill. On to Dragon on the other side. Steel Tips now in their sights, taken down by Panma. JSN and Cyrac are so low. Cranians flashes in, doesn't find the mark, but will hit the tether, will line it up for Panma Jr., and that is a nice swing for Big Rat.
Yeah, 2 for 3 for the side of Big Rats. They might pick up the Herald, but they definitely get a top turret here in exchange for tier 2, maybe on the bot side. No, the teleport comes out.
Hop Tech
From
will
Hop Tech,
defend
but-
this tower.
Yeah, definitely a good fight for the side of Big Rats. They really needed that bit of gold and a bit of momentum starting to build for them.
I will say, with that top lane tower take, they are going to be later onto the map for contesting this Mountain Dragon. Cyrac does have TP, JSN does have Weaver's Wall, so they can get here much faster than the Karma Ash. We'll see what kind of fight we've got in store around this dragon.
Yeah, the Ash Arrow's not up yet. Well, they don't have any ults up yet, honestly. Meanwhile, Death Charge and Garrett's up. But it looks like they'll be swinging topside here, so they'll trade Herald for Soul Point once again.
Yeah, just didn't feel like they could work their way into contest. Instead, just gonna try to push in this mid lane, work for that Herald like you mentioned. But I think even though the advantage in that fight went over to Big Rat, JSN to the 5th more than happy to just move up on the dragon stack.
Yeah, I mean, if the game goes like last game, they don't care about Drag Soul. They will still beat them.
Mountain is a tad better than Chemtech, though. By most people's...
Oh my god, Keyshawn just going in anyways. Yeah.
By most people's estimation that I've seen, Chemtech sucks. So, you just chalk it up to bad RNG for J5.
They just want Elder to come faster.
Yeah,
they
but
just want Elder.
Oh, is there a play in
Ooh.
mid as Panma losing a lot of HP? Now throwing the Ash Arrow down. Nice sidestep on the Dredge line. Keeps the Karma alive. Now on bot side, it's time for a bit of a sleepy time for Keyshawn Robinson. Combos into the cast, combos into the damage. And a nice little pick there in the side.
Yeah, the tempo just resets now.
Steel
Oh,
Tips
another
wants to
dodge
walk
comes
up,
down.
gonna drop depth charge. Here comes Weaver's Wall as JC wants Panma. A flashback from the Ash,
man.
and that's an overextension by the Stone Weaver. Starry now teleporting into mid as Steel Tips has no way out of this one. And now another body slam forward. A big turn for Big Rat.
Yeah. The game is starting to swing where the team comp is much easier to execute for the side of Big Rat. These double marksmen, longer range, and just more straight up like one directional frontline and CCing combined with the Shield of Karma is just so much easier to play on for them. The siege will still continue out on mid here.
Yeah, they're gonna spawn a few of those grubbins down to help put some damage in on that mid tier 2. Now starting to get the building of a gold lead. 2k on the side of Big Rat. And, I mean, as more of these items get underway, we see this time, we called out the Wit's End in that previous game. This time, Ash not even waiting to the 3rd item. Oh, really nice cast angle by Star, making sure he doesn't clank against the tower. But yeah, Wit's End now coming in 2nd this time around for the Ash for that extra defensive capability.
Yeah, very smart call. And the Triforce, it looks like with that Ruby Crystal, gonna be built 3rd. Honestly, Terminus would be really great 3rd.
Yeah, we did see him go Terminus last game, so I think it is on his mind. But yeah, just gonna be something to watch out for. And I think one thing I'm interested to see from Jason the 5th is how they can move around the map. They have Talia ult, they have Realm Warp now at level 2, so it's got a lot more range under it. We'll see if they're able to make plays more successful than their last, and they'll start in the brush by hooking in Lilia.
Ooh, good hook.
An easy takedown, and Keyshawn now at 5 kills.
Yeah, if I'm Uta, I just gotta be ready to flash that hook immediately after I saw their outline in the sweeper. But that, I guess that's pretty hindsight. They're looking towards the Baron now, maybe.
Oh, they do get chunked out a bit by Cridians, but with no smite on the side of Big Rat. Starry with no teleport as well means it's going to be a 4v3 on the top side. As Critians is trying to provide some more poke, but the Baron is going down decently fast, though. Now Realm Warp as Cyrac wants to turn. Oh, Dragon can't get in! What just happened? As Panama, though, gets hit by the Dredge Line, hit by the Encore. Is there really any follow-up? Dragon still straight into the pit. He's going to go down. Now the turn onto Steel Tips. Is it really there? As Cyrac pumping in damage with the Essence Flux, forcing Critians back. And actually, Hoptech wants to go for form, but there's still a depth charge. He goes into the casket. He can't get Steel Tip through the locket. Payman now trying to fight out 1v3, able to get one back for himself. Yuta is back on the map. Seraphs is there for Cyrac, and a nice snipe with the Swirl Seed. Two-man lullaby is brilliant. And Yuta puts him to sleep, calls it night-night.
A game of inches here. Like we said, Red team, JSN the 5th needs to be able to hit everything on one target, and with the depth charge that came out, they one-shot the Hoptech, but then there's still a roaming Lilia and an Ashe to deal with. There's just so many long range and high move speed threats on the side of Big Rat. It's just so hard to lock them down.
I have no idea how Seraphine did not catch the train there from Cyrac, but definitely threw them off, scatters the fight. If your Enchanter is not there with your damage dealers, it's going to be a bit of a rough time, and that's the first time this game we really see this Tristana come to life. Even if there was that kind of ill-advised jump in to the depth charge, Hoptech starting to build something up in this game.
I think this game will be determined here. Dragon up in 15 seconds. Red team needs to be able to get position in this river. They don't get pushed, so they're just foregoing the mid wave. They're keeping the Seraphine there.
Oh, but there's a pick onto Starry. They're gonna try to turn with the Ashe here. Dragon staying alive for as long as she can. There's the Bomba trying to deliver the Garen, and they get him. Cyrac now taking up so many arrows. It's a cold
he gets out.
But he's able to just barely get out with the Realm Warp.
See, this is what we're talking about. The double 80 carries, they're just outranged and outmaneuvered. It's so hard to. They do get the one shot lockdown onto the Gragas, but what after that? It's so hard to play. Depth charge is still available.
Cyrac does TP back for the play.
Not anymore.
Charge and Weaver's Wall, and Yuta's alone in the Dragon Pit. They know it as Steel Tip's trying to just move in onto the Lilia. Drowsy comes out only at the Seraphim, but the Encore is going to connect. Now here comes some damage from Payma Jr. and Hoptech, but the Rise keeping them at bay. Now the Smite goes the way of Yuta.
Huge Smite.
Cyrac now going to try to lock up more as Cyrac is doing so much damage, and another flick comes through. Starry going to TP back. She died at the start of this, but she will not do anything at the end.
Oh my god, it's so close. Once again, blue team does get the Smite away, so Dragon's Soul is fended off for now, but the Rise damage is already so massive. 3 rotations almost one-shot that Lilia and the Karma. It's so tight here. The game is just a game of inches at this point.
Yeah, Sightless. Getting the Smite off is huge. Denies the Mountain Soul. Pushes us 4.5 minutes further into the future. Kicking the can down the road. But for now, JSN the 5th just going to move over this top side. Make sure they have vision around that big purple worm.
Oh, tier 2 picked up for Keyshawn now. If that's a Executioner's or a Kempunk Chainsword, side lanes are a lot harder now for Starry.
Yeah, it does just have to kind of rely on Gragas wave clear here for Starry. Has been a bit of a rough game, going 0-6 thus far, but Gragas, so much utility in his kit, don't really care how it goes. If you can just keep guys off your carries, keep everyone at arm's length, let Panama and Hoptech do the work, that's going to be the main goal for the Rabble Rouser.
So we did talk about how the Wits End is a great buy for the Ashe, but Dragon 1 million IQ bought a Staff of Flowing Water. Absolutely one-upping the Genius buys. That's such a great buy because your 80 carry is basically a Rise. And then a Talia for Talia too. Actually a really great buy. I like it a lot.
Yeah, definitely going to be easy to apply with the Seraphine W. So just trying to provide as much steroids as she can for her team. We'll see how this kind of pans out from here. We are seeing the, not Kempuk Chainsword, the Mortal Reminder for Keyshawn.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
Still he'll cut all the same. I forget if Kempunk is even in the game anymore. But either way, still good to have that Grievous Wounds, make it tough for Starry in the side lanes. And that may be part of why Hoptech is the one responding to the Garen right now.
Yeah, there's nothing on the map to fight. I guess Baron. Oh,
Well, a free cleanse is something to fight for, and they do get it.
yeah, they'll take that any day of the week, I guess. A free cleanse. But yeah, pretty neutral game state. The Garen is just shoving his life away in the bot lane, as you know, as the Ignite indicates. He's not playing for a map state. He just wants to force someone into that lane with him and keep him there forever.
Yeah, things going the way of Keyshawn thus far. We are still at a relatively even state. Feels like these teams just kind of prepping up for that dragon fight. What do you think the win conditions are for either team coming into this objective?
Well, I think for blue team, they really need to take advantage of this Ash Arrow more. It's always seemed like they've been getting engaged on. And it might be a vision thing, but Ash's Hawk Shot. It might be a positioning thing, but we have Gragas to just face check everything. So they really need to just take advantage of this Ash more. She's really strong too, 3 items. Her DPS is really high, but she's just not able to DPS. Someone is always getting bursted right off the bat without her being in position.
Yeah, we'll see if Panma can get some snipes down with that all-important ulti. Meanwhile, on the side of Jason V, they grab up that Scuttle Crab, try to carry over that vision control. Right now, Hoptech still having to respond to Keyshawn with all of his might. That Tristana working up for that armor pen item, but just not there quite yet.
Yeah, shout out to Steel Tips, man. This Nautilus is working absolute wonders this game. Even that Death Charge, that dragon, it looked like it was being thrown to Narnia, but it still did its job, I guess. Locked Lilia in and stopped her from DPSing the drag.
Yeah, a very good adaptation here in draft from the side of Jason Fitt, being willing to switch up the roles, unlock another gear for their entire team. Feels like we do have Starry being used as that face check to let Big Rat move in for this dragon. Keyshawn on a bit of a flank. We'll see how this fight's going to play out.
Yeah, but they move out of the river a little bit now. They really want to clear this mid wave right off the bat, but both teams are kind of even in the river here. They have their own foothold. Garen is slipping up, sweepering his way up, so he knows that there's no vision there.
Cridians and Utah are on the wrong side here. They just go right for the Lilia. The flash won't save her. Now here comes Jason with massive damage. The Encore doesn't find his mark. Body slam in. Cask brings them. Cyrac as the Rise just trying to do as much damage as he can. Panma's able to find the kill, able to flash out back to safety. Dragon is low. He's slowed up by Panma. Hoptech wants to go in. It's another reset. As here comes the range advantage. The fling is there onto Gragas, but Panma now just wants to fire away as much as he can. No dredge line now on Steel Tips. Starry trying to take him as much as she can. Keyshawn though has made his way in. Down goes the Ash. Hoptech, you can't fire into Fog. You can't fire down on Steel Tips. And that will be Mountain Soul, most likely, for Jason to the 5th.
Oh my god, once again, like the double 80 carries are trying so hard.
Hoptech's still looking here. He's just dead. Tried fishing for something. Ends up getting the wrong end of the line.
Yeah, the double 80 carry comp is trying so hard. In the beginning of the fight, Cyrac just one-tapped the entirety of Cridian's health bar. I don't know if you were watching, but like 75% gone in that EQ. And then she was like, the Karma was already way far out of the fight. But Ash was putting out so much damage. It's just like not having the Nautilus or not having that immediate CC. It's so hard for the double 80 carries to play. That's what the Gragas really needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, Stars engaged look pretty solid, being able to bring them Cyrac, but the Seraphs let him survive just a tad longer, get a lot more damage off. And then, when Keyshawn came in at the end, Panma, the Wit's End is pretty solid against everyone not named Garen this game.
Exactly. Keyshawn Robinson. It's the new Leroy Jenkins.
Oh, yeah. I could see it. He's got, what, Ken and Gwen? Yeah. Fits him pretty well. Even on the Skarner games where he just burrows in out of nowhere.
Yeah. Hoptech really tried to salvage the fight there at the end, too.
Yeah, definitely felt like he just didn't have enough in the damage department. Still, now just going to finish that LDR. So, he'll be a lot more of a threat onto Keyshawn, onto Steel Tips as well.
So I will say, in this particular comp, I would not go IE second. I would go Flicker Blade second. Because first off, having Q up permanently on Tristana just feels absolutely amazing. And second off, if you go Flicker Blades, you're just really rotating your E. And then that's pretty good because that's playing more bursts than IE, I think. Like, if you can rotate your E more, you can burst off of like Gragas Body Slam. And that's like a better like point to play off of than having to be able to auto constantly, even without your Q up permanently.
Yeah, we'll see how much value he's able to get out of those bigger crits come later fights. For now, we do have a pause, as I believe it was Cridians getting DDoSed. They will definitely need his services on the side of the Rats if they are to keep contesting in this game. Looks like he has reconnected back, so we should be able to get into game soon. But yeah, Mountain Soul on the side of JSN the 5th, definitely going to provide them with some good durability as we get to possibly some game-ending Baron fights.
Yeah. They got Froggen on JSN the 5th or something. DDoSing them. But there's the Rylai's completed for Seraphine. That would usually be like first item for support, and now we have the single wave Seraphine E is now a root too, so she never has to wait to double E to root people.
Yeah, definitely very useful for Dragon. We're trying everything we can here. I mean, last time it was like third time's the charm, and then it was like trying to close other aspects. Okay, looks like we're good.
Is it rolling now?
Disaster.
Right, we're good. 19-21 in kill score. Game 3. Both teams are feeling the intensity right now for sure.
Yeah, things definitely getting very tense, and don't want to be the one to make any sort of mistake. Steel Tips and Starry, they're pretty durable. They can maybe get out of a scrap Starry, though. A bit starving in the item department thus far. But yeah, definitely do not want to be the one getting randomly caught out as these Baron dances commence.
Yeah, Sidewaves. Keyshawn's just chilling in that bush shows now. But it's a pretty even game state right now. I think Keyshawn on 4 items will definitely... No one can match him right now. Like, this Garen will get shredded instantly. The second he touches Tristana, he's gonna die. Garen is just really strong on side lane right now. And this is exactly what he wanted. He didn't bring TP. He just wants to pin someone in the bot lane with them. Because if someone TPs away, he will end the game instantly.
Yeah, Keyshawn had the confidence behind this Garen pick. And now it's going to be JSN the 5th having the confidence to start up this Baron. Pema Jr. is pretty far. I think this one's just going to go down. They get the news pretty late. Weaver's wall to make sure there's no contest. Here comes an arrow and a realm to try to get everyone out, but they're all going to go to sleep, or are they? Didn't look like it was enough to go forward. Yuta still wants to chase. Now going to get hit by the Encore Charm, and he's running forward with his bring him back the move speed, and he's locked in the room prison. Cyrac now wants to go for more. It's time to rise up for JSN the 5th. The double kill to JSN the other, and Garen coming in for the flank on the other side. Panman Hoptech could be in danger. Steel Tips wants to go forward. He's immediately buster shotted back though. And for now, it is Baron and a good lead for JSN to the 5th.
What a good call on the side of JSN the 5th. Just pull the trigger there with the Big Rats so far out and like in their base and clearing mid wave. All they had to do was let the Banshees tank the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Weaver's Wall to block out people, and they got it for free essentially. And the Realm Warp to save them too.
Yeah, really good escape card there from Cyrac, as Dredgeline hits from Steel Tips. He's fine. He's got Mountain Soul. He's got Thornmail. He'll soak up damage. Now Cyrac just flashing forward. Gets some damage onto Starry at no real cost to himself. Lullaby about to come up shortly as Cyrac actually taking a lot of damage. But here comes Keyshawn. It's time to spin. It's time to win. And that is 3 quick kills for JSN to the 5th. They're going to need a miracle for the Rats. Yeah, you may have been able to stop 2 Jasons, but you cannot stop 5. They're on to the Nexus Towers, and Jason to the 5th will close us out. They will book their ticket to the Grand Finals and await any challenger that approaches.
What a beautiful game played out from the side of Jason the Fifth. A huge shout out to that Nautilus. Great call to pick it in this game. I don't know who called it on that team, but it did its job magnificently. And with only, it had the least deaths on the team. As a Nautilus, that is amazing.
Very good stuff from Jason the 5th. I mean, Big Rat was looking really strong coming into this game. They hadn't dropped a game since the first game of groups, but Jason to the 5th pushing them to the limit and then some, getting the win in the end.
Yeah, honestly, you know, I doubted the comps that won both games. So, you know, I guess they're cooking up something in these waters here because they know their champs too well. This Rise was absolutely electric too. Anytime that he got to touch a single person, their HP bar is just gone.
Yeah, I mean, the Rise definitely took some time to get going, but once those item spikes came in, he was cranking through the damage, doing a lot of work for his team. That will mean that while Jason the 5th get to move on, we will have to see how Big Rat fares in the losers bracket. Do have a lot of loser bracket games coming to you in the coming days, so we'll not sure who they will go up against quite yet. We will drag in 2 members of Jason the 5th for some after game thoughts.
Hello. He needs to. Let me message him.
I don't like the Discord names are different, so I mean, I think.
Wait, hello, you hear me?
Hello. Yeah, Pullman.
Oh, there you go.
Hello. Do you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Okay, my computer is crashed right now, but my it's fine. I don't need my screen.
Absolutely not. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have here from the side of Jason to the 5th, we have Keyshawn Robinson and Cyrac, right?
Yeah, the other Jason.
Okay.
I mean,
I wasn't
Jason.
entirely confident on which Jason was.
Original. Huh?
The original. I'm the original Jason.
Yeah. So yeah, certainly a hard-fought series for you guys. The one thing I want to know about is that Baron take in Game 3 that definitely swung the game in your favor. What were comms like for that secure?
I mean, we were kind of surprised that they just kind of gave it up like that. For a while, we were hovering Baron and trying to see if they would show, and then they kind of just appeared mid and then started walking bot for some reason. And then we were confused. Maybe they're baiting something, and then we were just like, all right, let's just take Baron since they're not hovering it. And they kind of tunnel visioned, I guess.
In a moment, I saw that Lilia come bot. I knew they wanted to get me because I knew first game, second game, third game, all those camps. I knew they wanted to get me, so I had to put out the pressure, the split pressure.
Yeah, you certainly
That's
did.
my team, the Baron.
Certainly did on a.
Hey guys, keep me top.
Certainly did on a unique pick like the Garen with all the bans that went topside in pretty much every game. What was the logic behind this Garen pick?
So first 2 games, we decided that the Gwen pick was essential because 1v9 in team fights and stuff, and side lane. Once they banned that, I tried to look for another 1v9 pick. I've been playing a Kennen a lot recently, so I was like, fuck it, let's whip out the Kennen. And of course, it didn't go as well as planned.
Bro. Hold the strats.
Wait, on.
Don't be giving strats.
So 4th game, we had to adapt. I whipped out the Garen. They seen the team
4th
fight.
game.
Yeah, the 3rd game. They seen the team fight, but they haven't seen my split. So I gotta show it to them.
Okay. One thing I want to know is whose call was it for the Nautilus pick and for the role swap? Like, how'd you guys decide that this was the best course of action for Game 3?
It was. I mean, it was really just Jason the Other and Steel Tips. They kind of wanted to pull it off. They said just go for it. Why not? And it's something that we've talked about, but we've actually never practiced it, so it was kind of just like a limit test to the the final game.
Yeah, certainly panned out. I mean, Steel Tips looked pretty solid on the Engaged champions. Was it a lot better to play the game when you actually had a non-enchanter support for you guys?
I think that it helps with the control of the map. I think it's something that we've struggled with a bit, so it definitely helped us kind of get the plays that we wanted and kind of control what I guess the other team was doing. So yeah, no, we like the aggro swap there. Not sure if we'll do it again. I guess you guys will have to see.
And see, we will as you guys move on to grand finals. Any closing words here before we let you guys out?
Come top, everyone. Come top. Keep camping top, everyone.
Smoke. He wants the smoke.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
give you
yeah.
a show.
Yeah, I think our top laner. I mean, every game they basically try to ban out our top laner, right? So, I think I'm not sure. Like, I mean, looking at all the teams, obviously Big Rat was a good team. They pretty much, I think they dominated the first seed of Group B. So I wouldn't be surprised if we meet them again in the finals. But I mean, we'll be ready for whoever comes.
All right, sounds good. With that, we are going to close out here on Winter Finals. It will be Jason the Fifth in Grand Finals. We got some loser bracket games coming to you guys over the next few days. So stay on twitch.dmv /DMV rivals in the coming days. For now, we will say goodnight and wish you guys the best of times in your solo queue games.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey guys.
See ya.
I'll see you guys. Bye.